The Chicago White Sox. It's all coming up next on Channel 2.
This is a Channel 2 sports special. Orioles on deck, chasing the American League pennant, with your hosts, John Saunders and Scott Garceau.
Good evening and welcome once again to Memorial Stadium. John Saunders along with Scott Garceau. Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. We all know in the sporting world, Scott, there are very many cliches. We've got a lot of them for tonight.
Yeah, do or die, I guess. Play them one at a time, all that kind of stuff. But kind of a crucial, almost a do-or-die situation, John. No team has ever gone into its opponent's backyard down 2-0 in a championship series like this and won 3 straight on enemy territory. So tonight, needless to say, is a very big game. Not so much for the White Sox, but for the Orioles, of course.
We still have to be impressed, though, by both these teams. The looseness, the feeling that is out on the field that, hey, this is just another game in some ways.
Yeah, I think both teams are fairly calm. The Orioles have more experience dealing with this situation. Of course, yesterday's win had to relax the White Sox, at least tell them inside that, yeah, we're as good as we thought we were. I think they had kind of an inner confidence. Now it's a little more on the outside. One lineup change tonight, John. We won't see Dan Ford out in right field. He has that right foot injury, a bruise. He re-injured it yesterday, hurt it on the weekend. Tito Landra, who made, I think, 5 starts for the Orioles this year, none out in right field, will be there tonight. And if anybody has any butterflies tonight, I would have to think it's Tito, who's done a good job since he got here in late August.
Tito Landra has done a nice job, of course. They need that right-handed bat in against the left-hander Floyd Bannister. Yesterday, of course, as we all know, it was Hoyt doing a tremendous job against the Orioles. Let's go back now and take a look at the highlights. $51,000 on hand at Memorial Stadium for Game 1 of the Championship Series. The White Sox took the lead in the 3rd inning when Tom Petcharick singled in Rudy with 2 outs to give Lamar Hoyt a 1-0 edge. The Sox get their 2nd run in their half of the 6th when rookie Ron Kittle hits into this double play, good enough to score Petcharick from 3rd. For the Orioles, the highlights came in the infield. Some fine defensive gems turned in by the crew. Rich Dower here robs Harold Baines. One play later, Cal Ripken Jr. takes a hit away from Vance Law. And Todd Cruz at 3rd to nab Scott Fletcher. In the bottom of the 9th inning, the Orioles made a run at the White Sox, starting off with this double to left center field by Dan Ford. Cal Ripken then followed with a looping single to left to score Tito Landra, who entered the game to run for 4th. That left it up to Eddie Murray with 2 outs. And the first baseman hit the first pitch back up the middle, and Ripken is forced at 2nd. Lamar Hoyt is the winner, and the White Sox take the first game 2-1.
I think your last outing, you kind of overpowered the Orioles, had about 12 strikeouts or 9 strikeouts, a large number. Today, it looked like you were moving the ball around a little more, finessing them.
Well, that's actually what I was trying to do, just move the ball in and out and change speeds and get a nice rhythm going. And I thought I did from about the 4th or 5th inning on, and I felt really good out there.
Of course, tonight it's Botaker for the Orioles going against Bannister of the White Sox. Let's compare the 2 starters and look back on their seasons. First of all, Mike Botaker, the rookie brought up from Rochester, has done just a tremendous job for the Orioles this year. 16-8, a 2.77 ERA. That's good for 2nd best in the American League. 1983 against the White Sox. 2-0 record and an even 2 ERA. A tremendous job. His strength has a very good breaking ball. We all know about that. Very good location on his pitch as well. If he does have a weakness, it might be that he has no overpowering pitch. Does not have a very good fastball.
Floyd Bannister for the White Sox, $1 million man. They obtained from Seattle by the free agency route. 16-10 on the year, 3.35 ERA, but most of the damage he has done has come since the All-Star break. He was 3-9 at the break and then went 9-0 after looking at some films of himself, taking off the pressure from all the money he's made. And Floyd Bannister has been as good, if not better, than Lamar Hoyt in the second half of the season. That's kind of frightening to think, isn't it?
That is frightening. If he's better than Lamar Hoyt, we might be in for a long night. Anyway, we'll be back with more of our pregame show right after these messages. Stadium, John Saunders along with Scott Garceau. Game 2 of the American League Championship Series.
Well, John, of course, the Sox up 1-0 in this series, but on the season, the Orioles have the edge. They won 7 of the 12 games, and there were some wild ones this year, to say the least. Let's take a look at the O's and Sox in '83.
You could never be quite sure what you might see during the Orioles and White Sox games in '83. Each time the two teams met, there was plenty of fireworks and plenty to talk about. When the two champions met for the first time in April, the second game of the series went into the record books, but not because of its beauty. That game on April 14th was filled with mishaps and seemed to go on forever. The White Sox won it 12-11. It lasted 3 hours and 56 minutes, the longest 9-inning game in O's history. When Chicago came to town in mid-May, Richard Dotson had a no-hitter going in the 8th inning until Dan Ford lifted this one into the right field seats. Dotson threw a one-hitter, but a 1-0 win for the Birds and a tip of the hat for Dan Ford. They didn't get together again until August, and on the night of August 5th, the magic was in the air at Memorial Stadium. With 2 out in the 9th, the O's had 4 straight singles to tie the game, and Rich Dower at the plate.
On the right field line, it is a fair ball. That is hard to believe.
An unbelievable comeback.
Get in there.
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, Len.
Back in Chicago for the season finale, and Len Ciccato was the sarcastic choice for Sports Illustrated Player of the Week when he broke his 0-for-66 drought against the White Sox. The next night, Joe Altobelli added his spice to the rivalry, getting tossed to the showers for his words with the home plate umpire. But all that was mild compared to Sunday's show. Carlton Fisk hits an apparent 2-run homer, but the umpires rule fan interference, and the Orioles go on to win it 2-1. Not before Tony La Russa got himself and third base thrown out of the game.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. A woman done left.
And that was the last the two teams saw of each other until this championship series. Again, the Orioles hold the regular season edge, 7-5.
Well, I guess nothing too crazy yesterday. When you size up that game, you just spell it H-O-Y-T. It was strictly Lamar Hoyt.
Right.
Maybe we'll have him throwing the bases around tonight.
So Chuck Thompson said to me before, if Hoyt threw again tonight, he could do the same job. That shows how strong he is. We'll be back in just a minute. We're just about ready for the start of the game after this. Along with Scott Garceau, we're just about ready for the Orioles and the White Sox to kick it off. Scott, any final thoughts?
Well, we said do or die for the Orioles tonight, and I think that's the case. But when you stop and think about it, even if they lose tonight, what does it mean to win 3 in a row? How many times have they done that during the season? Nobody's ever done it in the playoffs on the road, but it's not out of the question. So maybe it's not do or die, but it sure does mean a lot.
It certainly is a possibility. Bannister coming up against Botaker. Chuck and Brooks will be along in just a moment with the play-by-play. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the game.
Lights on New Scene Nightside after Game 2 tonight.
Live from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore,
the Baltimore Orioles and the Chicago White Sox in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series.
Magic feeling, the magic Orioles. It's that magic feeling, the magic Orioles.
Orioles 83, brought to you by Budweiser Light. The best never comes easy. That's why there's nothing else like it. Nissan, builders of high-mileage, high-quality cars and trucks for 50 years. Available at your Datsun dealer. Ezrine Auto Centers and your local independent General Tire dealers. Coca-Cola. Coke is it. Crown. Everything you want a gasoline station to be.
It's that magic feeling, the magic Orioles. It's that magic feeling, the magic Orioles. Magic feeling, that magic feeling, that magic feeling.
What a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome now to Game 2 in the 1983 American League Championship Series from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, the Baltimore Orioles and the Chicago White Sox. It would hard to believe that anybody in our viewing audience does not realize what happened to the Orioles yesterday. They ran into a great pitcher by the name of Lamar Hoyt and were defeated by a score of 2-1. And Brooks Robinson, that really puts Baltimore in the hole.
This is a must-win tonight, Chuck. If you're going to win the playoffs, you have to win tonight. I don't see the Orioles going to Chicago and winning 3 in a row.
Well, while we have a little time, Brooks, I'm sure you talked to people today about the Orioles. What kind of an opinion did the fans give you that you talked to today?
Well, the opinion was that Hoyt was just too much for it, and that was just about it. McGregor did not pitch that bad, but when you shut down the middle of the Oriole lineup of Ripken, Murray, and Lowenstein, if they don't hit, we are not going to win. So that's going to be the main prerequisite tonight. We're going to have to dent that starting pitching for the Chicago White Sox.
Well, I think maybe the Oriole fans who have been with this ball club so well, whether they were winning or losing, and fortunately they did a lot more winning than they did losing, but they kind of suffered when early in the year the Orioles lost 7 in a row, and then they came back with an encore and lost another 7 in a row, and lost all of those players to the disabled list, but yet managed to win their division. And I kind of think the Oriole fans feel that, you know, you're not perfect. You're going to have to lose 1 or 2 ball games every now and then, and yesterday is just yesterday. Let's go get them tonight.
That's exactly the way the players approach it. We've got a ball game today, and they forgot yesterday. And I think the thing that, you know, in 1973 and 74, the Orioles won the first game, although Oakland came back to win the series. Last year, California wins the first 2 games and then loses 3 in a row in Milwaukee. So all they have to do tonight to be in good shape is to win this ball game, and Mike Botaker has a little pressure on him.
Botaker needs it, and he's going to be going against Floyd Bannister, and we haven't the time right now to talk about these pitchers, not dwelling on yesterday's ball game. But, Brooks, the Orioles have been kind of somewhat flat since they clinched the pennant. As a matter of fact, they have lost 6 of 8 games. Now, is that kind of natural? It must be awfully hard, I think, as a player to stay up on edge after you know, when you're playing meaningless games.
Well, that's true. The White Sox went through a slightly not as bad as the Orioles did, Chuck. They were flat. They had a no-hitter thrown at them by Mike Warren of Oakland.
Right.
So they went through a little period, too. And the main thing that you're concerned with after you're cinched, and I don't care how you play, is the fact that you don't want anyone to get hurt. You want to stay healthy, and that's what the Orioles were concerned about. They were concerned about letting their pitchers get enough work, letting certain infielders get enough work. So I don't really see any significance to the fact that they have been flat the last week of the season. Yesterday they did not play too well. They were the team that made the mistakes. And when you don't score runs, everything else is magnified. So if we would score 5, 6, 7 runs, nobody's going to think about the errors that we made, or Murray not coming up with the ball, or Murray not getting a hit the last time up. The fact is, when you score a run, that makes everything a little better.
Brooks, you're saying in another way, I think, that you're never quite as good as you look when you're winning, nor are you quite as bad as you look when you're losing. Floyd Bannister is, I don't think you can compare him with Lamar Hoyt. He's an entirely different kind of a pitcher.
Yes, he is. Bannister is a power pitcher. He was second in the league this year to strikeouts to Jack Morris. Last year, he led the American League in strikeouts. But he is another one of those outstanding pitchers that the White Sox have. Over the second half, he was 13-1, and he had the best earned run average of any of those 3 pitchers. Dotson, Hoyt, he had the best in Bannister. And he's a guy who is going to throw fire, fire, fire. Just rear back and throw. He likes to throw breaking balls inside to the right-hand hitters, and he likes to go away to try to strike them out with a fastball.
Brooks, we all know that, they're only human ball players, and they will make mistakes. They're not machines, as Scott McGregor so aptly put it. But yesterday was really a poorly played game insofar as the Orioles are concerned. They were mixed up a few times. There was a balk in the ball game. There was a wild pitch. It was just not a typical Oriole performance. What did any of the players have to say about that?
They just more or less forgot it, I think, Chuck. They realized that they did not play a good ball game. And really, the White Sox had chances late in the game to blow it wide open and make it a runaway almost, but they were not able to capitalize on that. The Orioles played well when they had to, but they did make a few errors of omission, and that's something they're going to have to turn around, because when you've got outstanding pitching, you cannot afford to make mistakes.
Well, you've gotten to the point I was trying to make, that late in the ball game, the White Sox were threatening every inning over the last 4 innings of play, and it was kind of like the Orioles said, wait a minute, we could get ourselves in a lot of trouble, and it appeared that the Orioles suddenly kind of got into their groove and began to play their kind of baseball, and just refused to let the White Sox score with their great opportunities over the last 4 innings, and we'll be back with more right after this message. Well, let's give you a rundown on the batting orders for tonight's second game in this all-important championship series of 1983. And you'll not find too many changes for the Chicago White Sox, but you will find quite a few changes for the Orioles. Leading off for the Chicago White Sox will be their center fielder, Rudy Law. Number 2 batter again is Carlton Fisk, catching. Number 3 hitter, the right fielder, Harold Baines. Batting 4, designated hitter, Greg Lucinski. Number 5 hitter at first base, Tom Petcharick. Number 6 hitter in the left fielder, Ron Kittle. Batting 7 at third base is Vance Law. And the number 8 hitter, shortstop, Scott Fletcher. And batting 9 will be the second baseman, Julio Cruz. Now, the Oriole batting order against the hard-throwing left-hander Floyd Bannister will find John Shelby leading off, and he will be in center field. Now, the number 2 batter is going to be Tito Landra. Now, earlier tonight, manager Altobelli had Dan Ford in that spot, Brooks, but he was unable to go.
Well, I saw Dan this afternoon when he came into the locker room, and he was hobbling, and I asked him if he was going to be able to play. He said, I think so. He was penciled in the lineup, and I guess that they decided to try to have someone who was 100% in the outfield, and they went with Tito Landra and took Dan Ford out of the lineup.
Well, we'll run through the lineups again. John Shelby in center field. Tito Landra, as Brooks explained, will bat number 2 and be in right field, replacing Dan Ford. The number 3 hitter, the Orioles shortstop, Cal Ripken. And batting 4, first baseman Eddie Murray. The number 5 batter, left fielder, Gary Renicky. In the number 6 spot, again, the designated hitter, Ken Singleton. Batting 7 at second base, Rich Dower. The number 8 batter and the third baseman is Todd Cruz. And the Orioles' fiery backstopper, catcher Rick Dempsey, completes the batting order. Botaker on the year has won 16 and lost 8. He made 26 starts through 10 complete ball games, and along the way, he pitched 5 shutouts and had a sparkling earned run of 2.77, which is the best in the American League among pitchers who finished in the American League. Rick Honeycutt went from the Rangers to the Dodgers, or he might have won the ERA title. And for the visiting Chicago White Sox, Floyd Bannister, 16 and 10, made 34 starts with 5 completions and 2 shutouts, and 217 in the third innings. He pitched to an earned run of 3.35. Now, Brooks mentioned the fact that they had 2 seasons for Bannister. Career-wise against the Orioles, he's won 5, lost 2. This year, he won 3, lost 9 in the first half of the season. And then in the second half, as Brooks pointed out, 13 wins and 1 loss in the second half. They are introducing the Orioles. Why don't we go down and listen to the PA voice of Rex Barney.
Scott McGregor. Number 12, Len Sakata. Number 15, Dan Ford. Number 17, Joe Nolan. Number 21, Dan Morigello. Number 22, Jim Palmer. Number 23, Tippy Martinez. Number 27, Benny Ayala. Number 28, Jim Dwyer. Number 30, Dennis Martinez. Number 32, Bill Swiggerty. Number 34, Storm Davis. Number 38, John Lowenstein. Number 46, Mike Flanagan. Number 49, Tim Stoddard. Number 53, Sammy Stewart. The coaches, number 40, Jimmy Williams. Number 47, Cal Ripken. Number 54, Ralph Rowe. The trainer, Ralph Salvon. The equipment manager, Jim Tyler. Now the manager of the Orioles, number 26, Joe Altobelli. Introducing the starting lineup for the Orioles. Batting first, the center fielder, number 37, John Shelby. Batting second, the right fielder, number 39, Tito Landra. Batting third, the shortstop, number 8, Cal Ripken. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 33, Eddie Murray. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 35, Gary Renicky. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 29, Ken Singleton. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 25, Rich Dower. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 10, Todd Cruz. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 24, Rick Dempsey. And pitching for the Orioles, number 52, Mike Botaker, 16-8, who is warming up in the left field bullpen with number 44, Coach Elrod Hendricks. Number 31, Coach Ray Miller. We now ask you to please rise, and we direct your attention to the pitcher's mound, where internationally acclaimed composer, arranger, and recording artist Chuck Mangione, who hails from Joe Altobelli's hometown of Rochester, New York, will play the national anthem.
Well, one of the greats of our day, Chuck Mangione, with a beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and he gets a heck of an ovation from another capacity crowd. The weather here in our city tonight, just a little cooler than it's been the last few evenings, but a wonderful game, wonderful weather for baseball. However, if any of your friends came to the ballpark tonight, I would hope that they brought at least a windbreaker or a sweater with them. It's that kind of a night. This telecast is broadcast under rights purchased by WMAR-TV from Baltimore Baseball Incorporated, and it's intended solely for the private use of our viewers. Any rebroadcast or other transmission of the description of the game without the express written consent of WMAR-TV is strictly prohibited. The umpiring assignment tonight at the plate on balls and strikes is Durwood Merrill. At first base, Nick Bramigan. At second base, Jim Evans. At third base, Dave Phillips. Left field line, Mike O'Reilly. And the right field side, yesterday's home plate umpire, Jim McKean. Mike Botaker, 16-8. Had a heck of a rookie season. He was given an opportunity to start when injuries hit the Oriole pitching staff way back in May. And he went on to lead all of the major league rookies in victories with 16. And he topped the American League with 5 shutouts, finishing second in the circuit with a 2.77 ERA. Was second on the Orioles staff in wins, complete games 10, strikeouts 120. Mike Botaker, he had kind of a record, Brooks. It's a little bit strange. Here at Memorial Stadium on the season, Mike Botaker won 11 and lost 3. The best he could do on the road, 5-5.
I think this park suits him just fine, Chuck. He's very comfortable pitching here. It is a pitcher's park. Left center, right center, the power alleys are a little difficult to reach. Now, if you hit the ball right down either line, you're in business. But most of the balls any hitter is going to hit is going to be left center, right center. Botaker is just as calm and cool as you'll ever see any pitcher. And I think that in talking to him in the clubhouse before the game, that's the impression I got. He just wants to go out, pitch his game, keep the Orioles close, and hope that they can crack this Chicago pitching staff.
Well, for a fellow who started the year in Rochester, and it was actually, he might not have started in Rochester had it not been for a bad break in spring training, and he came up with a severe ankle injury, and the Orioles, you know, he just couldn't get into the normal work routine and pattern of spring training, and he lost his chance then to earn a spot on the ball club. So he started the year in Rochester. He was 3 wins and a loss with a 1.90 earned run in 4 starts when he was recalled to replace disabled Jim Palmer. On May the 3rd, he worked once in relief before getting a spot start in the second game of a doubleheader with the White Sox on May the 17th, and all the kid did was hurl a 5-hit shutout versus the Chicago White Sox in the second game of the doubleheader for his first major league complete game and shutout, and he became a regular member of the rotation as Mike Flanagan had sustained ligament damage in his left knee in the opening game of that doubleheader.
Now, let me in the AAA leagues 3 years ago, and he's been up and down. The Orioles actually thought he might be 1 pitch short as far as being a big league pitcher. They asked him to go back to Rochester this year, try to come up with something that would give him a little different pitch. He went down, he worked on a fork ball, which he calls a Fosh ball, and it was a change of pace for him, and that's one of the reasons he's here in the big leagues. I actually think they make too much out of this because I actually feel, in talking to other players who saw him pitch several years ago, that he could have pitched here in the big leagues, but it was just a fact of life. The Orioles had a lot of good pitchers.
Which is, you know, when you say Baltimore Orioles, you automatically say pitching. As long as I can remember, the Orioles have had at least as good a pitching staff as anybody else in the league, and many years, of course, they had better stats. And Botaker is right out of that mold, and though he's not eligible to help the Orioles in the playoffs, another young right-hander came up from Rochester and really helped the Orioles, and that was Alan Ramirez. And he's a youngster that we might hear from in the future, not to mention what the left-handed guy Dan Maragiello did, and fellows like John Stafaro also made contributions to the Orioles' late season surge that got them where they are tonight, ready to battle the White Sox in the second game of the 1983 American League Championship Series. Botaker throws quite a few different pitches, does he not?
He has command of 4 pitches. You'll see him throw the overhand curveball, the fastball, has a changeup, and he can throw them anytime, any situation. And I think that's one of the reasons he's been successful. When he's 3-1, 2-0, the hitter's pitch, he doesn't have to come right down the middle with the fastball. He can throw another pitch and get it over. But he is a battler. He is calm and cool and collected, as we mentioned before, Chuck, on the mound. And in talking to him, I was very surprised just how calm he was. But this is a big game for him, believe me.
Probably the biggest in his career to date. If there's one negative, and it's a very narrow sort of a negative, and it has absolutely nothing to do with his ability to pitch, but he does have a kind of a problem that's not absolutely unique, but it is to the Oriole pitching staff this year. He does develop blisters on his pitching hand, and it's bothered him 3 or 4 times this year. We're all ready to go. It'll be Rudy Law to lead off for the Chicago White Sox. Rudy went 3 for 5 yesterday. He was really concerned about the numbers he read. 0-56 against Baltimore in the regular season, and he said, hey, I'm going to turn that around right now, and he did.
Well, he sure did. 2 for 32, and that was one of the reasons that the Orioles were successful against the White Sox. They kept this young player off the bases. Here's a good play by Dower. If he can throw him out, he got him. Dower had to go to his right, bobble the ball momentarily, knew he had to get rid of it, and he nipped Rudy Law. And that's one way to keep him from stealing, make him go back to the bench.
And for the younger players watching tonight, as you saw the replay of Dower, you can learn a lesson right then and there. Sure, it's embarrassing to kick a ground ball if you're an infielder, or for that matter, an outfielder. Don't ever quit on it. Just go right after it as hard as you can. And Dower got one of the swiftest men in the league, Rudy Law, because he just would not give up and made a heck of a throw. And now here comes Spiss. Carlton had 1 hit in 5 trips in the Chicago 2-1 verdict yesterday. Tell you, one of the things that's of interest about the series between the Orioles and Chicago, 7 of 13 games that have been played this year between these two clubs have been decided by 1 run. Now there's a strike to Fisk from the man doing the job, Durwood Hooks Merrill. He's called Hooks because that's the name of his hometown down in Texas.
Hooks, Texas. Seems like there was a good running back from that area. I'm trying to think who it was. University of Texas, that's strike 2.
And that might have been the slosh ball, or whatever you call that unusual pitch from Mike Botaker. It's just a change-up, and the bottom falls right out of it. Now the 2-strike pitch to Fisk. He's gone. I'm glad we had a chance to talk. Let's take a look at the pitch. Here it is. Right.
That's a beautiful pitch. Yeah, I think that was his, could have been a slider or some kind of breaking ball, but it was overhand right over the top, and it completely fooled Fisk. And you'll just check out every pitch he throws. Every other one is going to be a different pitch.
Harold Baines steps in with 2 out and nobody on. Harold yesterday did not get a base hit in 4 trips. Hitting in the number 6 spot yesterday against the left-hander McGregor. Now moves up to number 3 against Botaker, and the count goes 2 balls. No strikes to Harold Baines.
Baines had an outstanding season. A clutch performer in the second half, 22 game-winning hits. And it looked like to me that Baines is trying to go downtown every time he swings, including yesterday. He was trying to get the head of that bat out.
Well, no one taught this young man to swing the bat the way he does as you take a look at it. He just, the first time he picked up the bat and swung, it was a reasonable facsimile of the swing that you see right now. His daddy said, yeah, I gave him the bat, but nobody taught him how to swing. He just had that God-given ability. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Perfect night for baseball. Looks like the flags are blowing in.
71 degrees at game time. Brooks, 2-2. He's got him. What a start for Mike Botaker at the end of the first half inning tonight. Chicago nothing, and now the Orioles will be coming to bat. Tonight again, if an Oriole hits a home run during the Equitable Bank home run sweepstakes inning, some lucky fan will win $1,600 or maybe more. I'm sure most of you are aware of the fact. Should it be a grand slam home run in the Equitable Bank inning, the winner will be awarded $1 million. And that'll be coming up sometime later. On the mound, you're looking at Floyd Bannister. Bannister 16-10 on the year. And against the Orioles in 1982, he won 1 without a loss. And this year, he defeated the Orioles twice. He's 2-0 against the Orioles in 3 starts this year. However, his earned run is 7.80 against Baltimore, which tells you, yes, the White Sox must have been scoring a lot of runs, and they did. He beat Flanagan 10-8. He beat Dennis Martinez 6-4, and he beat Alan Ramirez 9-3.
He is a completely different pitcher this second half, and I think all of us realize that. And there were several reasons that he got off to the slow start. Number one, the buildup from him coming to Chicago from Seattle. Number two, the team played bad. Number three is the fact that after the second half, or after he got untracked, he decided to go back to the basics, the things that got him where he is today, and that is his fastball.
And the one-strike pitch to Shelby is like the first pitch, and he's down 2 strikes. Shelby hit his first home run of the year off Floyd Bannister in Chicago way back on April the 12th. Matter of fact, he went 3 for 5 in a game that Sam Stewart won 10-8 over Dennis Lamp. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Bannister going into this year 51-68 lifetime average, and he played for some bad clubs. That was another reason he was 51-68.
That's right.
But he has turned things around the second half.
Career-wise against the Orioles, he's 5 wins, 2 losses, with an earned run of just a little bit over 4. In 56 in the 3rd innings, he has struck out 40 Orioles. Floyd Bannister with a count of ball, 2 strikes to Shelby. In case you're a little late, the White Sox went 3 up and 3 down against Mike Botaker. I don't know whether that's just a fastball or is that a hard slider that kind of came ripping in on him.
Chuck, he's thrown 2 breaking balls. Neither one of them have been close to the strike zone. So right now he's relying on his fastball for the strike pitch. It'll be interesting to see if he can get his breaking ball over the next couple of hitters.
Well, I'll tell you, he is a strikeout pitcher. He established a new career 1-game high this year when he struck out 12 batters in the game against the Seattle Mariners at Comiskey Park. Out of play. He also struck out 11 batters in 1 game, and that was against the Orioles in Comiskey Park in August.
These 2 ball clubs are so similar, it's just unbelievable. When you look at the amount of runs scored, RBIs, earned run average, the way they played the second half.
That's your speed gun that measures the velocity with which Bannister is throwing. Looks like it might be out of play. Petcharick is going to give it a look, and it is out of play.
Well, we won't be privy to what the speed gun says, but I want to tell you it's about 95.
All right. Okay, Brooks. And we were talking about the wind, and there's really not much around the ballpark tonight. It's kind of coming in off the left field corner and blowing toward the right field corner. It's variable. It doesn't stay that way. It'll come straight down the line. You take a good look at Floyd Bannister, ready now with a 2-2 pitch to ball 3.
Now that was his breaking ball. He started it out on the outer part of the outside and tried to hit the outer half of the plate. Shelby took it for ball 3, 3-2. Can't help him out. You got to make him throw strikes.
And the 3-2 pitch to Shelby struck him out. Well, Brooks, Shelby took a few pitches, which is a comment I think you made earlier in our season, one of the telecasts, that our leadoff men have got to take a few more pitches.
Now, that's right. Shelby is very aggressive. I was going to make the comment, it won't take as long to see what Shelby's going to do when he came up, because he went up there and started swinging the bat. And there's a lot of pros and cons, but leadoff men have to get on base. That's what their job is. And this is Tito Landra playing for the injured Dan Ford. Tito had experience last year with the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series. Altabelli likes this young player. I say young, he's 28, 29 years old.
28, yep.
Yep.
28 years old.
He's been around, but he's got some tools, and he'll can do a good job.
Got a piece of it, and he also got a piece of the mask, as you see the readjustment made by Carlton Fisk.
This is a White Sox ball club that you're going to have to give a little more credit to defensively than we did earlier in the year. They were a poor club earlier. Julio Cruz came to Chicago. That solidified the second base side of the infield. Fletcher has played much better. Vance Law has been superb at third base.
And they're pitching 3 of their starters 42-5. That's absolutely incredible over the second half of the year.
Off-speed pitch, that's the first changeup we've seen. In the outfield, you got Kittle, and he is adequate in center and left field. Law, very good fly hawk.
Well, Landrum now, Brooks, has a count 3-1. And there goes that peak from Landrum to third base coach Ripken, and the other Ripken we just showed you in the on-deck circle.
Well, I don't think you have anything to look for here except the fastball, because the thing that Bannister wants to do is keep him off base with Ripken and Murray coming to the plate, and that's what it was. He popped him up, and I want to tell you that's a major league pop-up back in the stands.
Filling the count 3-2 to Tito Landrum with 1 out. Those of you who didn't see the first half inning tonight, Rudy Law led off, hit a ground ball to Rich Dower. Dower made a very good play, knocked the ball down, recovered in time to throw out Law. And then Mike Botaker got a third strike called to Carlton Fisk and got Harold Baines swinging. And that was the Chicago first inning. And now here in the bottom of the first, Shelby struck out, and here is Landrum with a full count pitch due.
Only thing that Lamar Hoyt said last night when someone asked him, did you have a game plan? He said, my game plan was to keep the first 2 hitters off base so that Murray and Ripken would not have men on base when they came up.
This could also be out of play. Petcharick is giving it a look, and it is back in among the spectators who are here tonight, and they are here in droves. But everywhere Brooks and I talked a little bit at the outset about Oriole fans, because everywhere I went today, although the Orioles were 2-1 losers yesterday, fans were not at all upset or down. They really felt, hey, don't worry about it. They're going to be all right. They'll play their game, and everything will work out. And gee, that's great to hear. It truly is. 3-2 pitch to Landrum. Back-to-back strikeouts. Now, remember, this guy earlier this year struck out 11 Orioles.
And he'll get 11 tonight, too.
You think he might?
Yep.
Well, if he does, he could be in a lot of trouble.
Cal Ripken, who looped a single to left field yesterday to knock in the Orioles' only run.
Well, the last time this fella struck out 11 men in the game, it was against Baltimore, the 11th of August, but that was when the Orioles were in the midst of a 7-game losing streak. The Oriole pitching was fine, but the Orioles were just not hitting a lick. In that ball game, the White Sox blew the game wide open with a 6-run third inning when they sent 10 men to the plate. One ball, 1 strike to Ripken. Cal had a hit in 4 trips yesterday. Bannister has K'd the first 2. Watching the center fielder, he broke back. Here's the speed of Law, and he, with that speed, couldn't get there. Well, he had to play deep for Ripken, and that kind of a swing, it's natural that his first step would be back, and it floats in for a Texas League single.
Not anything Rudy Law could do. That's just a base hit all the way. It's a big swing, hit the ball off the end of the bat, looped it in for a single. And now Eddie Murray stepped to the plate. And was that a fantastic confrontation last night? The best pitcher in baseball against the best hitter.
Yeah. And that last night, the best pitcher won. Well, Eddie Murray will probably have his day. Matter of fact, there are a lot of pitchers around the American League that'll say, what do you mean will have? He's already had it. And now here is Murray. 2 out, Ripken first, and a ball 1.
Bannister has yet to throw a strike with his breaking ball.
Fastball pitchers sometimes have a little trouble with their breaking ball. Eddie Murray hit 21 home runs left-handed, 12 right-handed. Still having trouble with that breaking ball.
You bet.
But he had 378 at-bats as a left-handed batsman and only 204, as you see him tonight, a right-hander.
Get ready for this one. And I got a feeling Murray's going to have about the best swing he's had all year right now. Threw it by him. Fastball.
Looked as though he had it in a pretty good place, too, Brooks. Looked like that fastball was a little down and in. Out of play. Eddie Murray in the 7th inning yesterday against Lamar Hoyt after he had retired 13 in a row. Jumped on the first pitch, and he almost got it. It was, as Hoyt and Fisk said after the ball game, right down the middle, and he just missed hitting it out. Now the 2-2 again to Murray. What a save from Carlton Fisk, right where he had to be, and blocked it. Well, there have been 3-3-2 counts in the inning. 4 batters have been to the plate, and here is Eddie Murray waiting the 3-2. We do not chart the number of pitches here at our booth, but Bannister's, he's strong enough. He's thrown quite a few here in this inning. My goodness, I wish I had a speed gun on that one. Oh, he really turned it loose.
Got to be in the upper 90s, and so far, I just think if Bannister cannot get his breaking ball over, he is going to get hurt sooner or later with the fastball. Someone will catch up with it.
Two out, and the 3-2 again. Out of play. The Orioles and the White Sox will get on the airplane tonight and fly out to Chicago after this one is over. And the on-deck hitter, as you see, is Gary Renicky. And the Orioles, by the time they get into their hotel in Chicago, it'll be somewhere around 4:15 in the morning Baltimore time. Now the 3-2 pitch. Of course, the same is true of Chicago, right? Struck outside at the end of 1 inning of play tonight in Game 2. The Orioles nothing, the White Sox nothing.
$15,000 this year during the Big Mac Attack contest. And for the playoffs, we dug way down deep through all the entries and have given everyone who entered one more chance to win.
Well, we did have some big winners, Brooks. A $1,400 winner, a $1,300 winner. A couple of people won $1,000. Somebody won in every Oriole telecast. So at the end of tonight's game, Lindsey Beverly of Allendale Road will win $100 a run if the Birds win, or $50 a run if they lose. So if you know Lindsey Beverly, why don't you give him a call and tell him to stay tuned and root for the Birds. 27 pitches thrown by Floyd Bannister, Brooks, in that first inning. And here we go. Top of the second to Greg Lucinski. And a quick strike to Greg. He went 1 for 3 yesterday. Had that wind-blown pop-up down in right field.
He hit 31 home runs this year. That tied the record for a designated hitter.
A ball to strike. Lucinski, Petcharick, and Ron Kittle are the new batters to Baltimore's Mike Botaker.
Lucinski, outstanding years in the Philly organization. Big and strong and a much better hitter than anyone gives him credit for.
Did he stop the swing? No, the umpire at first base said, And that umpire is Nick Gremigan, and Kittle doesn't even so much as look that way.
Well, that's what we mean by...
rather, Lucinski doesn't.
That's what we mean by not giving in to the hitter. 2 balls, no strikes, you'll see a breaking ball. Lucinski, he was all keyed up for the fastball.
That's out of play.
There came the fastball, and he fouled it off. What you can say about Botaker is he knows how to pitch. A little different variety right there. He dropped down from the side, threw him a little sidearm breaking ball. Going to see something different every pitch.
And Botaker with a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch to designated hitter Lucinski. 2-2.
Took Lucinski a year or so to learn how to adjust to being a designated hitter, just like it did Singleton.
Yep.
Lucinski says he goes up, sits down in the clubhouse, turns on a ball game, watches it.
3-2 now. Now this is an interesting situation. What will Botaker come to Lucinski with in this 3-2 situation?
That's a good question, Chuck, and I think it's going to be anything but a fastball.
Breaking ball. Struck him out. 3rd strikeout, and we're going to pause 5 seconds for station identification on the Orioles 83 Baseball Network.
Thorner, Benton, Saunders, Phillips. Watch the team work on Channel 2.
Well, Botaker has spanned 3 of the first 4 White Sox to face him, and here now is Tom Petcharick. What a ball game Petcharick had yesterday. Of course, he seems to have nothing but good ball games against the Orioles all year long. He went 2 for 4 yesterday.
Just a very good hitter, and he has given the Orioles more trouble than any other White Sox, along with Fisk.
And is hit by the pitch. And you can see a somewhat disturbed Mike Botaker. He's kind of walking around behind the mound talking to himself right now. Fortunately for Petcharick and for Botaker, Tom seems not to be too badly hurt, maybe in the fleshy part of the upper arm. Batter now, Ron Kittle. He went 0 for 3 yesterday. Time, Eddie Murray wants to go out and have a word with Botaker.
Chuck, there was an unconfirmed report yesterday that Aurelio Rodriguez sat right next to LaRusso during the ball game and was telling LaRusso when the Orioles were putting on the bunt, when they're not putting on the bunt. Now, I don't know if that's a fact, but it's like that they forgot to change their signs. And in several situations, I can't believe it either, but that's the rumor going around.
No, usually when you trade a guy to another ball club, the first thing you do is change your signals. You don't fool around with that at all. However, Rodriguez was sitting next to LaRusso. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Kittle. Struck out twice yesterday.
35
now, here's an Oriole fan. That's carrying it a tad far, I would say, but
Chuck, I got all kinds of strange notes here. You're talking about that's carrying it too far. I got a call today, and the lady said, look, tell everyone on TV to concentrate on 4 numbers, 76, 37, 39, 19. He said, that's Baltimore's coordinate. That's Orioles' winning number. So I'm telling everyone.
All right, bear down on those numbers. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way to Kittle. Low now, 3-1, and you've got to come to Kittle with a pretty tough pitch.
Well, you have.
Incidentally, congratulations to a fellow who had a great career as a Baltimore Orioles coach and left us and went to the New York Mets and has today been named the manager of the Chicago Cubs, Jimmy Fry.
That is great.
We rejoice in that great news, and congratulations to Jimmy and the entire Fry family. Down to second goes Petcharick on the walk to Kittle. And that'll bring to the plate Vance Law, who was 0-3 yesterday.
The third baseman, number 5, Vance Law.
Well, the White Sox last 3 hitters, when you talk about Law, Fletcher, and Cruz, did not give you a lot of offense. It's pretty similar. There's a
couple of smiles in the dugout. I don't know what somebody said, but Ripken and Jimmy Williams, along with Joe Altobelli, whatever it was, it occasioned a kind of a tight little grin from Joe Altobelli. Here we go to Vance Law.
And that's where Law likes it. He likes the ball out over the plate. When he comes to the plate, he thinks about hitting the ball the other way, right center field. We've shaded him that way. Bunbury around to right field. Big gap in left center. Shortstop Ripken up the middle.
Just like that, Botaker's got him now in the hole, 0-2.
Well, I would think that if Botaker's going to throw his fastball, this might be the time he'll run it inside on him.
And down.
When you're a hitter, 2 strikes on you, you have a tendency to guard the outer part of the plate. No, he went away with him with a breaking ball.
Botaker, 2 wins without a loss against the White Sox this year. 18 innings of work. He allowed 4 earned runs. Now with 1 out, Chicago with runners at first and second base, and Botaker just takes a very slight recess, just a very short breathing spell. Give himself a chance to think a little bit. And now ready with a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. 2-2.
This is the pitch he wants to get him on. He does not want to go to 3-2 with Vance Law.
Yesterday, this is a kind of a catch that Cal Ripken made. It was just a super play. And that'll fill the count again.
3-2, 1 away. Look for him to go.
That Ripken play came against Vance Law in the 4th inning yesterday. Well, this is where Botaker did not want to get. 3-2. One out, runners at first and second. They will be going. Struck him out. Throw to third. Double play. What a way to end the inning. At the end of an inning and a half, Chicago nothing, Baltimore nothing. Well, your nearby Dotson dealer will donate $100 per Oriole playoff game to the favorite charity of the Dotson player of the game. The Oriole player will be selected at the end of the game by Brooks and yours truly. And during this exciting playoff series, we kind of hope that maybe you'll choose along with us as we select the Dotson player of the game. Gary Renicky. He sat it out yesterday, but Rhino comes on against Floyd Bannister.
Well, Chuck, this is one guy that I'm sure the White Sox are going to try a little different pattern as far as pitching. Although he hit a little over 270 average-wise, he took them downtown 4 times this year, 12 RBIs. That's by far the best of any Oriole player. And if Bannister's going to try to run the fastball by him, he's going to have something on it.
Low, ball one. Durwood Merrill is doing the ball and strike job tonight. This will be in for the base hit. See how well they play the carom. Renicky going to try to get a double. Throw to second base. He's got the double.
And that's exactly what I mean. Renicky took his best fastball, left field, pulled it, short hopped the wall. Kittle played the carom, high throw into second base. And here you see Bannister just going for the heart of the plate. Renicky's there. He doesn't miss it.
And another example, Brooks, and we've said it so many times this year, how the ball seems to jump off the bat of Gary Renicky.
Better than anyone on our ball club. He's that big and that strong, and he has a big, strong swing. He was going for 2. He was going to get thrown out if Kittle could make the play, and Kittle overthrew second base.
Only by about 10 or 15 feet. Here is Singleton. And Kenny had a base hit in 3 trips yesterday. On the Erie at 276. Ball 1 to Singleton. Right-handed. Singleton hit 262. Left-handed, 284. But he had many more left-handed at-bats, 335 to 172.
Well, against Chicago this year, Singleton got many, many base hits on fastballs. And they've tried to change their pattern on him by throwing him breaking balls. And I think if they do that, they're working right towards his power. That's an off-fence law.
Whoa, here comes Renicky.
That'll be a run.
Down to third. And Singleton was waiting in foul territory to be sure he was able to take second base, and he is. And the run from Renicky is, I thought he was going to be allowed to score, and he has been allowed to score.
Hard ground ball to Vance Law. He knocks it down. Plenty of time to throw Singleton out. Throws one into the dugout. The Orioles have a first run. They're on the board. Singleton at second base, none away.
Well, now, look, Tony La Russa, here is what happened as Law recovered and made a terrible throw to first baseman Petcharick. And it went into the camera section in the end of the dugout. And the ground rule in this instance will be 2 bases by the runner. And the error is on the board. Error all the way to the third baseman, Vance Law. And the run scores also on that error.
You saw La Russa telling Bannister to be alive for the push bunt. Trying to get Singleton the third to get him home on a sacrifice fly, if possible, or a base hit.
Now Rich Dower. Dower went 0 for 3 yesterday afternoon against the seemingly invincible Lamar Hoyt. Now here is Fisk right behind the plate. Is he going to have a play? No, not without a ticket. I tell you, Fisk came to the seats as if he had a play every step of the way. And that breeze that we showed you earlier is just kind of coming right down the left field line at the moment, and it had to help blow that ball back in among the Oriole baseball fans who are jammed into every nook, cranny, and corner of this ballpark.
You saw Dower trying to take the ball the other way. This should not be, I was going to say it shouldn't be too tough. I didn't mean it shouldn't be too difficult to do, but that's what Rich wants to do. Bannister likes to ride the ball outside.
Kind of tough to take that kind of a pitch the other way.
Sure is. Especially when you're looking for the ball away, and he throws it inside. Dower did the best thing he can do.
Now the 1-1 offering. That's your on-deck hitter, Todd Cruz. Mike Botaker relaxing in the Oriole dugout. Breaking ball, and Brooks, you made the comment earlier, he just has not been able to throw it for a strike.
Maybe one all night at the most. Tony La Russa.
And here's La Russa.
I think one of the keys too, Chuck, if they could get a little offense out of the bottom 3 hitters of the Orioles. It's the same way with the White Sox. That's the guys like Todd Cruz, Dempsey, Dower to contribute. He popped him up again, and this one's going to be playable.
Here comes Fisk.
That's a big run at second base if you get him to third.
One away in the Oriole half of the second inning, and Todd Cruz, who had to hit him 3 trips yesterday. Todd Cruz felt that maybe he might have made a play on that Petcharick ball, but up where we were watching it yesterday, it seemed to me that ball was really nailed. I thought Petcharick hit the dickens out of that ball, and Cruz did a heck of a job to even slow it down somewhat.
It's strictly a reflex action. A line, hot shot at you. You do the best thing you can. Cruz had his glove down. The ball came up, hit off
a little
his wrist,
higher than he thought, right?
And in the left field. He played an excellent game defensively.
Out of play to the first base side. Boy, they're everywhere tonight, aren't they? Yesterday we had 51,289. Might have a few more in here tonight.
Cruz hit 16 home runs, Seattle last year. And I would say, to me, when you're hitting off a Bannister, and right now there's not much guesswork because you just got to look for one thing. That's the only thing he's been able to get over is a fastball. This might be a guy that Cruz can hit. Cruz 199 on the season, 10 home runs, 48 RBIs. Got a base hit to center field the first time up in yesterday's ball game.
Look out at second. And Singleton got back there. Fletcher made a pretty good move behind the bag.
Todd Cruz and Julio Cruz were double play partners at Seattle when the season opens. They're still very good friends. Todd said when things are going well, he usually calls Julio and gives him a little pep talk.
And the 1-1.
Good breaking ball right there for a strike. 2 strikes, 1 ball, 1 away. Orioles lead 1-0.
Two and two now. On deck hitter, that's Rick Dempsey. What a ball game he played for the Orioles in the losing cause yesterday. That will be the second out of the inning. And now Dempsey, who had a base hit in 2 trips and was just amazingly outstanding behind the plate. Already has cut down a base runner. Here's what happened yesterday in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dempsey on his way to second base. Now watch what happens. Right off the outside of the hand, the right hand, and then against the batting helmet.
His fingers were swollen up today.
Yep.
When he came into the clubhouse, he took some whirlpool treatment on him.
The ring finger and the little finger next to it on the right hand. However, those are really not necessary to throwing the baseball, but if they're too bad, one of the things they're concerned with is it might hurt him a little bit to try and swing the bat tonight. We'll find out.
He's not going
to. Dempsey won't pay any attention to it.
I said he wouldn't tell you if it did.
That's right. Here comes right fielder Harold Baines and the second baseman Cruz, and Julio makes the grab for the final out. But at the end of 2 innings of play in Game 2, it's now Baltimore 1, Chicago 0. The Chicago half of the 3rd inning at Memorial Stadium tonight, and it'll be Scott Fletcher to lead off, then it'll be Julio Cruz, and then the leadoff hitter Rudy Law. Temperature 71 degrees at game time. It's windbreaker sweater type weather at the ballpark. Another fine crowd, but really just a heck of a good night to sit back and watch a ball game between two very good teams. I think maybe some Oriole fans who watched yesterday or were here yesterday perhaps feel that the White Sox are as good as their record would indicate. Some of us may have been guilty of kind of shortchanging Chicago in that they played in the Western Division, which is somewhat weaker than the Eastern Division of the American League, but I'll tell you, they'd have done very well no matter which division. Bunt, Dempsey right at the plate. What a play from Dempsey. I'll tell you, you talk about quick reactions from a catcher. That's about as quickly as a catcher can react. That ball didn't stay in the air long enough for Dempsey to make any kind of a false move. 1 out, and now Julio Cruz.
Julio came over from Seattle in a trade for Tony Bernazard. Helped this White Sox solidify their infield. That's when things started to turn around for him.
As a left-hander, he hits 162 on the year. As a right-hander, 227. Botaker isn't wasting any time. He's just pumping strike after strike. And that's Tony La Russa eyeing the activity from the White Sox dugout. 3 pitches, and he's gone. Strikeout number 5 for Mike Botaker.
Rudy Law, the next hitter, grounded out to Dyer the first time up. Rich knocked the ball down and got him by a step at first base. 77 stolen bases this past year, second in the league to Ricky Henderson. Julio Cruz, who just struck out, had over 50. He was 4th in the league.
Well, when Mike Botaker made his first start of the year against the White Sox in that second game of the doubleheader, he struck out 8 men when he beat Dennis Lamp 5-0. And he's got 5 right now. Ball 2 to Rudy Law.
Botaker is in the mold of Jim Palmer as far as being a complete athlete. He is a very good fielder. He holds the runners on probably better than most of the pitchers on the Orioles staff. And we have been a little lax this year as far as holding runners on. But in this situation, when you have a Law and a Cruz who can steal bases, you've got to give Dempsey a chance. And the only way you're going to give him a chance is to hold him close.
3-0 pitch to Law. He might even take another. Here's a look at the smooth style of Mike Botaker. Base hit. And that will be for Rudy Law, his 4th hit of the series. He went 3 for 5 yesterday, and he has 1 for 2. Carlton Fisk looked at a 3rd strike in his first at-bat.
That was 3-1 fastball, and Rudy Law was right on it. You're going to see that Botaker is going to pitch guys a little differently. If he had 3-1 on Fisk or 3-1 on Lucinski, he's not going to throw the ball right down the middle or throw it for, he's going to try to give him something a little different, maybe a breaking ball. But Rudy Law is not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark on you.
Well, he hit 3 home runs in the entire year, so right, he is not what you'd call a home run hitter.
But he is liable to go anytime, and he is a prolific base stealer. It does not make any difference who's pitching. He can steal. This is one of the reasons that Fisk has been a better hitter this year. If you're a catcher and you've got Rudy Law on first base, you are going to call for more fastballs. Right. You're not going to call for a changeup. And moving up to second base, or the second place in the hitting order, has really benefited Fisk. And when you have guys like Baines and Lucinski behind you, you're going to get better pitches to hit. You can look at Ripken and Murray. That's the reason that Ripken gets a lot of good pitches to hit, because he bats in front of Murray.
And a man at the plate, Carlton Fisk, a .378 hitter. against the Orioles this year.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, he is the MVP of the White Sox.
There goes Law.
And he's got it stolen easily, too.
Yes, he has.
He just had a tremendous jump. He gets a great break, and you can see before Botaker releases the ball, he is on his way. There's just no way to stop him. Dempsey makes a good throw to second base, but Law has it stolen.
Well, we're looking at the replays of the steal of Law. The point in the replay I'd like to see is how many steps did he take before Botaker released the ball?
Chuck, he took a lot.
And that is the view that we didn't get.
Now, I was just watching both of them. When as soon as Botaker started his movement, he was gone, and you could see that he had it stolen.
Well, the fans are with Botaker. He's got Fisk, 2 strikes, and they're into that applause, anticipating another strikeout. Not that easy to get this big fella. 1-2.
And I'll tell you, that was a fantastic pitch for 2 strikes and no balls. Just unbelievable. It took a lot for Fisk to lay off of it. Fisk took 3 pitches the first time up for a strikeout. 5 straight strikes to him until the last pitch.
And the 1-2 offering to Fisk. 2 out of the inning. Runner at second base, Rudy Law. I don't know whether it's in or out of play. Murray's giving it a look, and it's going to be into the seats.
Another reason Fisk has, I think, been a better hitter this year is the fact that he started to use the whole field a little more. At Fenway Park,
Yeah, gun for that big wall and let it go, right?
And he hit the ball the other way, especially when he gets 2 strikes. And that has helped him have a great second half surge.
Two balls, 2 strikes now to the White Sox catcher. Botaker was 4-4 with an ERA of over 4 in his first 10 games through July the 3rd. But from that point on, he went 12-4 over his last 17 starts with an earned run of 2.23. 2-2 to Fisk. Well, there have been a few full counts.
Well, I think that if you're Botaker, you got to make him hit your pitch. If you walk him, that's all, you don't want to walk him, but I certainly wouldn't give in to him in this situation, even though Harold Baines is the next hitter. We've gotten Baines out so far. He's been a very anxious hitter, swinging at a lot of pitches.
Now the 3-2 pitch to Fisk. 2 down. Out of play. You notice that in the close-up of Carlton a moment ago that you see it again right now. It isn't that he doesn't shave. It's that he's in the process of growing a beard. And I think he said, you know, somebody said something about winning ugly, and I thought I'd play my part of the ugly part, let a beard grow. Well, some beards, I guess, look very good. But I doubt that any of them look good when you're in the building process, when you're just starting. 3-2 pitch to Fisk. Now watching Eddie Murray. That'll be it at the end of 2.5. Baltimore 1, Chicago nothing. Here we go. Equitable Bank's home run sweepstakes inning. If an Oriole hits a home run during this inning, some lucky fan is going to win the $1,600. $1,600. If the batter hits a home run with the bases loaded in this bottom of the 3rd inning, the prize will be worth $1 million. Now, tonight's contestants have been selected at random from users of Equitable's 24-hour response machines or response banking phones, or from postcards that were sent to Equitable Bank Home Run Sweepstakes. If your name is drawn and you're 18 years or older, of course, you could be a winner. And here we go. John Shelby is going to be batting for Richard W. Bounds of Gaithersburg, Maryland. Richard W. Bounds. Good luck to you, Mr. Bounds. Here is Shelby, a strikeout victim of the 1st inning against the hard-throwing southpaw, Floyd Bannister.
Shelby. Good swings the first time up at Bannister.
Strikeout leaders. Morris led the league, 232. This fella had 191. Two-strike pitch to Shelby. Out of play. Shelby is batting for Richard W. Bounds, and if he hits one out of here, Mr. Bounds will be enriched by $1,600. We are in the Equitable Bank home run sweepstakes inning. Baltimore leading Chicago 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Game 2.
It's going to be another fastball, only one on the end. Well, it wasn't. It was a
slider or some kind of a breaking pitch.
Just trying to steal Carlton Fisk's sign. Let's see what this is going to be here. Might be the same thing. There's what it was.
That's right. It was the same thing.
He puts one finger as a breaking ball, and then he points to where he wants it, the location. Both times he wanted it inside. 2-2. This is what we call Powder River here. This is going to be fire against fire. He's going right for the heart of the plate here. Fastball.
Powder River.
Yep. Shelby got
it. He's hit it pretty good.
He hit it good.
Watching the left fielder, Kettle, and he's right near the warning track to make the grab. Sorry, Mr. Bounds, didn't mean to scare you. No home run, but you'll get 2 free tickets to a future Orioles game, courtesy of the Orioles and Equitable Bank. 1 down. And now Tito Landra will swing at Floyd Bannister, and he'll be batting for Annie M. Bailey of Baltimore. Landrum, like Shelby, a strikeout victim of the first inning.
Joined the Oriole team August the 30th and played in 26 ball games.
That's going to be out of play. Bannister struck out the side of the opening inning. Ripken had a 2-out single, and then he struck out Murray to end the inning. Good luck, Annie M. Bailey of Baltimore. Tito Landrum is trying to hit one out of here.
Still trying to give away that $1 million, aren't we?
Oh, well, we've got a few. Let's watch this in the right field corner. Baines is right where he has to be to make the grab. 2 down, no home run, Annie M. Bailey, but you get 2 free tickets to a future Orioles game, courtesy of the Orioles and Equitable Bank. And now here comes Cal Ripken to bat for Francis J. Schreiber of Columbia, Maryland. Francis J. Schreiber of Columbia, Maryland. Ripken hit a 1-1 offering. Just kind of blooped it out into center field, and center fielder Rudy Law very deep. And with the power swings of Ripken, you have to respect that power. Never had a chance to get in on it. Strike to Ripken. And there's the proud dad.
What a great finish Cal Jr. had. The last 43 games, he hit .394, 10 home runs, 30 RBIs, making his bid to become the most valuable player in the American League. Popped him up.
Second baseman Julio Cruz calling for it. See the wind drifting it around a little bit. He's got it. No home run, Francis Schreiber, but you get 2 free tickets to a future Orioles game, courtesy of the Orioles and Equitable Bank. No home run in the inning, and that means the next Equitable Bank home run sweepstakes inning will be worth $1,700. And at the end of 3, Orioles 1, White Sox nothing. 4th inning, Chicago bats Harold Baines, Lucinski, and Tom Petcharick. News Scope is the next step in television news reporting, helping you understand how the day's events affect you. News Scope brings information to life. Weekday afternoons at 5 on Channel 2.
This is the heart of the lineup. Baines, Lucinski, Petcharick, Kittle.
In the first inning, Baines was out on strikes. Ball 1. Well, the pitching rotation for the rest of the series, the remaining 3 ball games. Dodson against Flanagan Friday night from Comiskey Park in Chicago. Saturday, Britt Burns against Storm Davis, and if necessary, Sunday night, Lamar Hoyt, Scott McGregor.
That'll be at 8:20, I think,
That's
Sunday night.
Exactly right, 8:20. On the screen is Bill Veeck, who at one time owned the Chicago White Sox ball club. And a man who signed Harold Baines and watched him play in sandlot ball down on the eastern shore at St. Michael's and was really impressed as a high school player. Baines was very impressive. That's going to be out of play. Bill Veeck was one of the first that I knew that really promoted baseball. He had all sorts of special nights for the fans and giveaways. As a matter of fact, there was one time when he owned the St. Louis Browns that he had a day for the fans when you managed the ball club. And they'd hold up signs, bunt, steal, hit and run, and by the applause, they'd try to execute what they wanted the ball club to do.
Well, they had a midget, I guess, named by the name of Goodell.
Yep, yes he did.
Who batted.
Also brought the great Satchel Paige up into the big leagues. Boy, there's a man I really wish I had seen. I could have seen in the prime of his career. He was unbelievably.
Exploding scoreboard.
Yeah. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way to Harold Baines. Well, the new bat didn't help. For Mike Botaker, number 6 in the strikeout column.
Botaker, Baines is a very anxious hitter right now. He's going to swing at just about anything you throw up there, whether it's eye high or a ground ball. And he has struck him out twice.
Well, here's the incredible bulk of Greg Lucinski, who struck out in the second inning. I think the nickname applies better to Lucinski than it does to the guy that they hung it on, Lamar Hoyt. He is built exactly the way you would expect a power hitter to be built. When Doug Rader of the Texas Rangers earlier in the year said that the Chicago White Sox win ugly, Lucinski, tongue-in-cheek, spoke to Rader's son, and he said, "You go tell your daddy I said he's ugly too."
I'll tell you, Lucinski, great sense of humor. There's only been 20 balls hit on the left field roof since the White Sox park going back to early 1900s, and he hit 3 of them up there this year.
2 in 1 game, didn't he, Brooks?
Yes, he did.
Did he stop the swing? Yes, he did, says the man at first base. And the count goes 2-2. Well, here's a replay of the check swing, if that's a check swing.
You mentioned earlier that he had tied an American League record by hitting 31 home runs as a DH, but actually he had 32, so he broke the record.
2-2 pitch now to Greg. Right center field. Tito Landra says, "I'll take care of this." That'll be it. 2 down, and the batter now will be Tom Petcharick. How about that for a White Sox hat? Now Tom Petcharick, hit by the pitch in the second inning. Yesterday he had 2 for 4, and he had many good ball games against the Orioles throughout the regular season. A quick strike to Petcharick. I'll tell you, that got his attention directed toward the plate umpire.
Tom Petcharick was a draft choice of the Baltimore Colts one year.
Petcharick doesn't like the calls of the plate umpire Durwood Merrill. He's behind 2 strikes. Well, he hit 400 against the Orioles in 9 games this year. And he didn't let up yesterday, did he? Facing now the 2-strike pitch from Botaker. That's it. At the end of 3 1/2, the score, Baltimore 1, Chicago 0. Well, Mike Botaker now has run up a total of 7 strikeouts. 3 times this year he has had 8 in a ball game. Once against this ball club he had 8. But his career high and the seasonal high was 12 strikeouts against the Tigers in the first game of a doubleheader. Here is the strikeout pitch to Petcharick, and look at the move of the ball.
This is a little breaking ball, side arm, and you can see it. That's a great picture. Look at the spin on that ball.
Look at the break on the ball.
I know it. All right. Thank you, Mr. Sheldon Shimmer.
Well, now let's watch Eddie Murray. And Bannister punched him out, as they'd say in the dugout. He struck him out in the first inning. A high, hard one and a quick strike to Eddie.
7 years with the Orioles. Murray averaged 28 home runs, 100 RBIs.
That's the projection of the path of the trajectory of a ball when a curveball is thrown that you just saw. Eddie Murray has the count even at 1-1.
I wondered what that was.
Well, they told me that's what it was, Brooks. I haven't any idea. Now the 2-1 offering.
Bannister signed originally with the Houston Astros to Seattle. Free agent. Signed a big contract with the White Sox. Got off the 3-9 start. Turned it around the second half, 13-1.
Strike 3 to Murray. And that'll be the first out in this fourth inning. And he talks to Durwood Merrill about it. He felt apparently it was somewhat outside, but Durwood felt not. Or even if it was, it picked up a portion of the plate. Remember, everyone, coming up this inning, it's going to be Coke break time, and Coke is it. Here's Gary Renicky. He jumped on a Bannister pitch and drilled it off the barrier in the left field corner, good for a double. And then when Singleton hit a ground ball to Vance Law at third, he knocked it down, recovered, and made a terrible throw into the White Sox dugout, and Renicky was allowed to score on the error charged to third baseman Law. Ball one. Renicky will be the topic of a lot of interesting conversations in the Hot Stove League in the off-season this winter. And I think in Baltimore, a lot of people are going to be wondering, is this fella going to get a chance to play third base for the Orioles in 1984?
Well, I don't think he wants to play that bad, Chuck, or he'd probably be going to Florida to try to learn a position. But I think that you're exactly right. There's a lot of ball clubs that are very interested in Renicky. He wants to try to play on an everyday basis. And it will be interesting. If the Orioles do not make a deal for a third baseman this year, I think that they will give Renicky a shot in spring training next year.
Well, defensively, you see the alignment of the White Sox, and they're fanned out guarding all of the exits against Renicky. 3 balls and a strike. And believe me, Mr. Renicky will jump on this one if it's a pitch to his liking.
I think they'll throw him a breaking ball. I think they're afraid to throw him a heater or a fastball. Let's take a check. That's what they did. Ball 4.
Breaking ball is exactly right, Brooks. That's the first walk issued by Chicago's Bannister, and now designated hitter Ken Singleton.
Well, we mentioned before, Chuck, that the first time up, Singleton has had a lot of success this year hitting fastballs off this Chicago pitching. The last few games, they changed their style. They threw him a lot of breaking balls, and I think when you throw Singleton breaking balls, even though he hit a lot of fastballs for base hits, you're playing right into Singleton's hands. That's what he wants. He wants something off speed, especially from Bannister.
Well, let's see how Bannister treats Singleton now with 1 out and Renicky at first. No breaking ball there. He gave him the heater.
One away, Renicky at first. Orioles winning 1-0. Singleton .342 against this White Sox ball club in 11 games. Had a double to right center field off of Hoyt yesterday.
One to Singleton. No. Renicky, one of those well-rounded athletes. He has good running ability. He hits with power. He's a fine defensive player. And who knows what he might hit if he were able to play every day, which is something that a lot of people will, I think, be talking about. That's part of the fun of being a baseball fan, trying to make the decisions from people like Bennett Williams and Hank Peters and his coaching staff. Well, I'll tell you, they have a lot of meetings, and everybody's opinion is listened to. Now the 2-1 pitch. Fair ball, fair ball. Oh, the Orioles got a good hop.
They're going to send him. They're going to send him.
He's coming home, and he will forward.
Yes, sir. Renicky all the way from first base. Jerry Renicky scores the second run. And Singleton got his breaking pitch that he wanted. He lined it right over the bag. Down in the left field corner. The ball did not come out of that corner like Kittle expected it to. And Renicky scored from first base. You'll see Law diving for the ball. And watch what the ball does now. Kittle's going over, but the ball hits short. It rebounds out to the middle of the field. There's Renicky, and you can see Cal Sr. did a great job at third base, waving Renicky on to home.
He'd have scored without any trouble if he hadn't kind of stumbled coming around the bag. 2-0 Baltimore, and Dower the batter now with 1 out, and Singleton at second base. Popped him up. Shortstop Scott Fletcher, 2 down. Tell you, boy, there were 2 locomotives about to bump when Renicky and Carlton Fisk came head-to-head at home plate. We saw 2 or 3 different angles, and it appeared that he was safe no matter the angle. But he had a little trouble with his footwork coming around third base. He just didn't have the strides correctly and had to shorten up on one to hit the bag. Ball 1 to Cruz. Do this guy heck of a lot of good if he could knock in Singleton right now. Todd struggling. He has learned one thing, Brooks.
Right.
Working with Ralph Rowe, he's not quite as anxious and wild a swinger as he was when he first came to the club.
He is a little more selective, and I think the base hit yesterday, Chuck, that took a lot of pressure off of him. When you get that one hit in the series, it seems to relax you, isn't that? I know that you're exactly right. He is a little more selective when he goes up there now.
Cool. Two balls, a strike, 2 out. The Orioles scored a run on 1 hit, plus a costly Chicago throwing error in the second. A walk, a double by Singleton, and they have their second run. Here comes the left fielder Kittle, and the center fielder Rudy Laws coming into the picture to make the grab, and that's the final out. But at the end of 4 innings of play, it's now Baltimore 2 and Chicago nothing. And now, fans, what say we take a Coke break? Here comes the top of the 5th inning. Mike Botaker will be facing Ron Kittle, Vance Law, Scott Fletcher in that order. The Orioles leading by a score of 2-0. Kittle drew a base on balls against Botaker in the 2nd inning, and now looks at the talented young Oriole right-hander for the 2nd time.
Chuck, I saw Botaker look at his finger. I hope that is not something that...
Let's keep an eye on the bullpen and see whether or not we have any activity. That might be the first tip-off.
Had some problems with blisters. That's been something that has bothered him only this year.
Foul ball.
Kittle, 254 this year, 35 home runs, 100 RBIs. Will be Rookie of the Year in the American League. Botaker will be a close second.
Botaker has thrown 60 pitches, as you see, 38 strikes, 22 balls. How about Lamar Foyt yesterday? 98 pitches and 74 were strikes. 1-2. I can see Lamar Hoyt going into the clubhouse yesterday and saying, okay, gang, you can take it from here. Boy, what a job he did. Two balls, two strikes.
Kittle has a long swing. I don't think he's ever going to hit for a high average, but he is going to hit home runs, and he is going to drive in runs, and that is his job.
Dempsey just fair or foul. He's just going to make some kind of a play. He battles and battles and battles. Mike Flanagan and Joe Nolan kind of having a chuckle over Dempsey's battle on that foul ball.
Now you'll
see the leg of Flanagan, that nervous tapping of the foot. Base hit, Kittle.
You see Flanagan in the dugout. He's keeping the chart. He charts every pitch that Botaker throws. He charts what pitches that the White Sox hitters do hit. He charts where they hit it, what the count was, and that's a line drive to left field. Todd Cruz diving, but in vain, into left field. And the White Sox have their second base hit.
And the batter will be Vance Law, struck out in the second inning. With a count 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. The runners were going, or 1 out. The runners were going, and he struck out into a double play as Dempsey threw to third and picked up Petcharick for the other half of it. That's the fastball for Botaker, and he'll throw it infrequently and will spot it very carefully as you take a look at Vance Law's protection over that tender left shin.
Botaker says he gets a bigger thrill out of throwing a fastball by someone than he does any other pitch, though, because mainly because maybe 8 out of 10 pitches have some spin to it that he throws.
That's why they call the fastball number 1. No, didn't get it. 2 balls and a strike. And usually, I guess there could be an exception, but for the most part, when scouts look at young pitchers, they're looking for somebody who can throw the ball hard. They feel they can teach that person to throw the other pitches.
And that's overrated, believe me.
What's overrated, Brooks?
I'd say speed is great, but I think
Oh, you have to have the other pitches. I got
well, I mean, you know, location, movement of the ball, I think they're just as important or more important than how fast you throw. But you're right, when scouts go out, they want to see how hard you can throw. Or when scouts go out to look at other players, as far as infielders or outfielders, how fast can you run?
There he goes. Kittle is going, and it's out of play. Kittle stole 8 bases in the regular season, was thrown out 3 times. So if you don't, you know, if you go to sleep on him, he'll steal one for you. Right now, we're going to pause 5 seconds for station identification on the Orioles 83 Baseball Network.
Marsh, Saunders, Phillips. Watch the 5:30 team work on Channel 2.
I think you're right. You can't go to sleep on Kittle. He's a lot like Boog Powell was when he played. You know, you don't expect him to go, but if you don't watch him, he'll go.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Foul ball. I'll never forget the first game that Earl Weaver ever managed. I almost ever managed for Baltimore for the Orioles. I almost fell off the chair. Boog Powell stole a base and went on to steal 8 that year. And Earl said, well, if they're going to give it to you, why don't you take it? You can't argue with that kind of logic. Now the 2-2 pitch. Fastball.
Well, if Perusa's going to move the runners around or hit and run, he's going to do it with guys like Law and Fletcher and Julio Cruz. Mainly Fletcher and Law, because they're pretty good at getting a piece of the ball.
Strikeout number 8 for Botaker. And here is Scott Fletcher. Here's the strikeout pitch.
Another breaking ball and right down. Law looked like he's going to get a piece of that ball. Went right by him for strike 3. That's the second time when he struck out Vance Law. This brings to the bat Scott Fletcher, who tried to bunt his way on and popped the Dempsey the first time up.
Ball 1 to Scott Fletcher. He tried to bunt his way on back in the third inning. Bunted the first pitch, popped it up right over Dempsey's head, and Rick handled it without any difficulty. Now looks at Botaker for the second time.
Fletcher had his problems also early in the year at shortstop defensively. Much more confident now in that position than he was the first half.
Look out. My goodness, what a foul ball, and I'm glad that hit the box seat, the facing of the railing of the boxes. Well, what a mean foul ball that was. I tell you, when you see a fellow that doesn't get around any better than that on a fastball, I tell you, I think I'd have to throw that heater at him a few more times.
You'd have to say that he was looking for something else. That's for sure.
Exactly what he was looking for, Brooks. Something other than a fastball, because he never got around on it. A ball, 2 strikes. Well, I got a piece of it. Cruz, second base. That's it. That's all they can get, though. And that was a tough enough play for Todd Cruz.
That was Cruz's play to make. Ripken would have never gotten there. Slow hit ball. You'll see him cut in front of Ripken. Make the throw to second base on Kittle.
And now Julio Cruz struck out in the third inning against Mike Botaker. We're on the top of the fifth with 2 down, Baltimore 2, Chicago nothing. That gesture, well, you didn't see it, but they want the umpire at second base to move. He was kind of in the line of sight. Now, Scott Fletcher, during the regular season, stole only 5 times. They never threw him out. 2 out. And Cruz waiting the first pitch from Botaker. Ball.
Having a 2-0 lead will cut out on some of the running that the White Sox might be thinking about doing, even hitting and running. As we said before, Botaker does a good job. Quick move to first base, holding runners on.
Boy, can he throw that breaking ball for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Dempsey figures, wait a minute, Mike. We better talk about something right now. I love those glasses. Oh, but in particular, he loves the Orioles. And now Tito Landra looking for a base knock. The Oriole right fielder 0 for 2. Popped him up. That's that fastball. Petcharick says, I think I can make the play, and we'll watch it. So the Orioles 3 up, 3 down at the end of 5. Baltimore 2, Chicago nothing. Well, Botaker in the top of the 6th inning will go against the top of the batting order for the White Sox. Rudy Law, who is having just a heck of a series for the White Sox. He now has 4 hits and 7 trips, plus a stolen base. Will lead off, followed by Carlton Fisk and then Harold Baines. Mike Botaker, a very down-to-earth young man. What's he going to do in the offseason? He's going to go back to Iowa and work in a grain elevator. For a friend of his, he said, let's face it, that man took me in and gave me a job when I really needed one, and what's different about it this winter? He's going right back to work for his buddy in the grain elevator.
Well, you're exactly right. He's got it all together.
Here's Dower.
I'll tell you what I've been looking for. The White Sox have been around their batting order several times now, Chuck, but I think that if you hit against a guy like Botaker, who throws so many curveballs and assortment of breaking pitches, I think you got to move around the box a little. I think you got to move up in the box, try something a little different than you've been doing.
Well, I agree with that, but today, Brooks, you very seldom see fellas move. They get into the box.
I mean, he is, you know, he's unbuttoning his shirt every time and lifting the front leg like he's trying to hit it out of here.
Well,
you're going to have a little more patience to hit Botaker.
You're right. He's now struck him out 3 times in a row, and that's 10 strikeouts for Botaker.
And the pitches he's been swinging at, Chuck, they're not strikes. This is not a strike. That ball is inside and it's low, and he missed it.
Well, Harold just a bit over-anxious, I would think, to try and help his ball club. He's also anxious to get his first hit in the series. He's now 0 for 7. Time, Cal Ripken now to say a word or two to Mike Botaker. Sam Stewart is warming in the Oriole bullpen. Lucinski tonight has struck out and flied to right. Here's Sam right now. Oh, way to go. Todd Cruz with a whale of a play to end the inning at the end of 5.5. Baltimore 2, Chicago 0. The left-hander works to the heart of the Oriole batting order. Ripken, Murray, and Renicky. Tonight on News Scene 2, we have over 50,000 hungry and thirsty people in this ballpark tonight. Ever think what that does to the vendors? Well, if you want to meet some real outstanding salesmen, we invite you to watch News Scene 2, Night Side, right after the game.
Scott Garso, John Saunders. They'll be doing it.
Cal Ripken singled in the first inning and popped to the second baseman in the third inning, and now looks out at Bannister as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Mentioned it yesterday, bears repeating, he's the only guy in the league that played every inning of every game. Not too many fellows are capable of that or get the opportunity in baseball today to do that. Whoops! Hang on! Off the wall. Ripken is going to try for... No, he isn't. Okay.
Well, I was just going to say, Ripken has not hit the ball on the nose this series. He gets out in front this time. Long fly ball, left center field. Off the top of the padding, and Kittle made a valiant effort to catch up with it. Could not get it.
Well, Ron Kittle is having some trouble out there in the left field corner. And he is pointing at a spectator, and the umpire down the left field line, Mike Riley, is on his way out. And Kittle will point out the offender who perhaps did something rather unsportsmanlike.
I think when he went after the ball, Chuck, someone put something or threw something down that way to make him not shy away from the ball, but he turned his head when he hit the padding.
Well, I hope they get the police and send them out there and eject that person immediately. And it looks like that is about to happen. In the big leagues, in professional sport, they have an expression for a spectator who would do something like that. Bush. Not very much. Kittle had no chance of catching the ball as he went over to play the carom. But you are watching La Russa and the umpire. The crew chief is Jim Evans. And they have talked to the police, and the police are, I think now, beginning to work their way to the area where the incident occurred. And La Russa is apparently satisfied that proper steps are going to be taken to protect his ball player. Now, Kittle wears glasses.
Lips, I think,
and he's cleaning them up right now.
He said someone, it looked like he said someone threw something right in my face.
Yep.
I'm an old lip reader from way back. We learned that back in Arkansas, Chuck.
Well, Kittle's got him spotted, and when the police get there, he'll be very happy to point him out if they have gone out there. Well, the Orioles, with 4 hits tonight, 3 of the 4 have been doubles. Renicky, Singleton, and now Ripken.
Now, this would be a big spot for Murray to get his first hit. What a pickup for him and also this ball club. Looking for his first base hit in this series.
Well, he has gone down twice on strikes, swinging and looking.
Chicago bullpen heating up. Barojas.
Salome Barojas. Watching the center fielder, Rudy Law. Tagging is Ripken. Here's the catch. Ripken trying to take third, and here comes the throw. And he is in without too much trouble.
Long fly ball, center field. Ripken taking advantage of the average arm that Rudy Law has. Goes to third base. And it's up to Gary Renicky. One away to try to get him in. Infield in for the play at home.
This is another look at the Ripken slide into third base. And now Renicky was doubled, walked, and scored both of the Oriole runs, facing Bannister, who wants to talk with Carlton Fisk, and I think he also wants to exchange baseball. That's exactly right.
And when we talk about MVPs on this ball club, as Renicky said the other day, it ought to be the left fielders. Collectively, they hit 292, 35 home runs, and 130 RBIs.
Well, he has a point. Now, remember the last time Renicky walked, nothing but breaking balls, one right after the other. And unfortunately for Bannister, he could not get them in the strike zone. Ball a strike. Sam Stewart warned in the Oriole bullpen. Salome Barojas in the Chicago bullpen is still at work. Salome is a right-hander. Now the infield is up about halfway. Now they're not right up against the grass. And that'll be a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. We were waiting for the first base umpire to make the call as Durwood Merrill, the plate umpire, asked for assistance. Quite a few people had something to do with getting this into the game of baseball, having the base umpire, first and third, make a decision on check swings. He got a good breaking ball that time. Renicky now with a count of 2-2. And among those, a former Oriole standout, player and coach, Billy Hunter, wrote quite a few letters to the league office asking that the responsibility for a check swing not go to the man behind the plate who is frequently blocked on the play, but go to, in the case of a right-handed batter, the guy at first, left-handed, the man at third, and the league eventually adopted center.
2-2, Chuck, and I can't see him throwing anything but a breaking ball to Gary Renicky. With first base open and 1 away, he's going to make him hit something, and he hit it.
Boy, did he hit it.
He hit it. You can kiss it goodbye. Home run.
It's gone. Home run, Renicky. And the Orioles begin to fight back.
That's his 5th home run against the White Sox this year. His 14th RBI. He has played havoc with them all year.
They want a curtain call, but I'm not so sure he's coming out. And Singleton takes a ball 1. 4 runs, 5 hits. The Orioles have gone to the power tonight. 3 doubles and now a home run. And Memorial Stadium is as loud right now as it's ever been in the first 2 games. Renicky says thank you and quickly ducks back in. The pitch. Strike to Singleton. That's the 5th home run that Renicky has hit against Chicago pitching this year. First one that he hit off this man, Bannister, in the April the 12th game in Chicago, inside to Singleton. Then in the first game of a doubleheader in May, he took Jerry Koosman deep. Then he hit another one off Koosman in August the 13th. This is Law from third base, and he'll throw out Singleton for the 2nd out of the inning. Here's the Renicky home run as it's pursued by Ron Kittle. Now let's look at it from the other way.
Well, whatever it was above the belt, right out over the plate. And Gary drilled it over the 376-foot mark. 4-0.
Well, he had 4 home runs this year in the regular season off Chicago pitching. 2 off Bannister, 2 off Koosman, and now number 3 off Bannister. Well, Dower, who's had a tough go of it so far tonight, trailing in the count or ahead of the count, 2 balls, no strikes. However, he hit .312 from August the 20th through the end of the regular season, did Dower. Well, Dower reacted as if the pitch was considerably inside. There's the home run hitter, Gary Renicky, and his teammate, Cal Ripken. Shortstop Fletcher, and his throw to first, and that will be the final out. But at the end of 6 in Baltimore in game 2, Orioles 4, White Sox nothing. Home run clouder Gary Renicky tonight on News Scene 2 for the game highlights, insights, and interviews. Join John Saunders and Scott Garceau right after the ball game on News Scene 2 Night Side on your sports station, Channel 2. Watch News Scene 2 Night Side right after the game. Now Tom Petcharick against Mike Botaker. First time he was hit by the pitch in the 2nd inning, and in the 4th inning struck out. Botaker now has notched 10 strikeouts. Foul ball. Oh, probably hear Rex Barney say, give that fan a contract. Strike 1 to Petcharick. Botaker just keeps the hitters off balance with a kind of an unusual assortment of pitches. He throws from different angles, and one breaking ball on top of another breaking ball, spots the fastball, another breaking ball. Sometimes he's right up on top of the breaking ball. Sometimes he's out 3/4, even sidearm.
Oh, the one over the top is the one that breaks the biggest. Then when he drops down a little or throws his slider, it's about a 4 or 5 inch break just like that one. It's thrown harder than the breaking ball over the top.
Well, he's had another full count. By our scorecard, this could be his 4th full count of the ball game. Dower going to have to hurry. Here's the right fielder Landra. I'm calling him off it, and Tito makes the catch.
Nice job by Tito. Dower going back, and when you're an outfielder, you run him off if you're going to take it. That's what he did.
Well, one of the few times I had the pleasure of the company of Tito Landra was with the scout Jim Russo, and Russo said one thing to me. He said, "Hey, Chuck, will you see this fella go get the ball? He thinks he's an excellent outfielder." We haven't seen him do anything wrong, and he's played every position in the outfield, right, center, and left. Ron Kittle walked and singled to left field in 2 previous turns. Left fielder Renicky coming hard, still moving. He's going to get there without too much trouble.
Another breaking pitch, and Kittle had to reach for, and he popped it to left field. He went 3-2 on Petcharick. Got him out on a breaking ball, too.
Went 3-2 on Petcharick, and then here comes Kittle, and he hits the first pitch.
And a pinch hitter, Chuck.
All right.
It was Walker.
Greg Walker?
Yes.
That's who it is.
Good-looking young player who's going to be an outstanding hitter. Next few years, you're going to see him playing a lot of first base. Played last year with Kittle. Had an outstanding year. Played a lot this year and
hit .239 in 64 ball games for the White Sox this year. And in 8 games against the Orioles, .278. Foul ball.
Celebrating his 24th birthday today.
24 years young today is the pinch batter, Greg Walker.
Tony La Russa.
Now the infield plays Walker to pull the ball. The outfield, however, they're kind of jammed up, cutting off the power alleys, but the center fielder is just a little bit toward left center. And that's Greg Walker's lovely wife, I believe. Botaker's wife, excuse me. Strike 3 is called. At the end of 6 1/2 innings of play, the score is Baltimore 4 and Chicago nothing. Right now is Julio Rodriguez, who is in to take over the third basing duties vacated by Vance Law. And on the mound, we have a pitching change as Salome Barojas has come on to replace Floyd Bannister.
Rojas, hard-throwing right-hander, features a sinker, tries to keep the ball down. Last time we saw him, he had some control problems. Chicago Ball Club led the American League, their bullpen in saves.
Well, against Salome Barojas, here is Todd Cruz. Barojas got into 5 ball games against the Orioles this year, picked up a win and a save, 9 1/3 innings, 10 base hits. And the bunt, does it stay fair? Rolls foul. And Rodriguez did exactly the right thing. He just didn't have any kind of a chance. Strike 1 to Todd Cruz.
That's not a bad play if you're a hitter. If you're going to bunt, either make it a base hit or make it go foul. Right down the line, Rodriguez charging, knew he had no play, let the ball roll foul.
Salome Barojas, 2-2 on the year with the White Sox. 4 saves, however. Oh, it looked like Cruz intended to bunt again, but the appeal from Fisk is denied by the first base umpire. They ruled it ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Barojas got in a total of 29 ball games, 52 1/3 innings, 42 base hits, 19 walks, 22 strikeouts. Good breaking ball.
Aurelio Rodriguez, who started the year with the Orioles. And that's where you're going to see most of the pitches from Barojas. Going to be down outside part of the plate.
One down in the Oriole half of the 7th inning. Baltimore 4-0 over the White Sox in game 2. And Rick Dempsey will swing now at Salome. Back in '79, when the Orioles battled the California Angels, Dempsey hit .400, and that is a foul ball. Foul ball. That's Jim McKean, who umpired at the plate yesterday and is on the right field foul line in the second game. And you recognize that number 22 in the bullpen, Jim Palmer. Well, I believe the pitcher may have touched that. If so, it'll be 1-4-3.
Rojas inside, got inside to Dempsey. Ground ball up the middle that Rojas deflected.
Juan Augusto, the big number 50 in the Chicago bullpen. And now Shelby from the other side of the plate. Well, foul ball. That looked like a strike one. The scoreboard comes up with it's a ball. He didn't touch it and didn't bunt at it.
I don't know,
I'd like
Chuck.
to see that again.
I was looking up on the upper deck.
Here it is. No, he didn't bunt at it, and it's just ball one. Okay, thank you very much. Base hit, Shelby. Left-handed, Shelby hit .264, right-handed .255, and he had a few more at-bats right-handed, 204 as opposed to 121 left-handed. 2-out single by Shelby, and here comes Tito Landra.
And I think you'll see Tito giving Shelby a chance to steal one in this situation. 4-0, good spot for it.
On the year, John stole 15. There he goes. Ball hit Shelby. He had the base stolen.
Didn't take long for Shelby to pick up his first stolen base of this series.
Tough kind of a pitch to throw somebody out on, but Carlton made the best of a bad situation. And the 1-0 pitch now to Tito Landra. Landrum against the starter Floyd Bannister, struck out, fly to right, fouled out to the first baseman. Out of play. Louisville this year, Landrum had a pretty good season. He had 18 home runs, 77 runs batted in, and hit .292. Had a mess of triples, too. And the 1-1 to Landra as Shelby takes his lead at second with 2 out. Baltimore 4, Chicago nothing, bottom of the 7th. 1-2 now to Landra.
Rojas has been the man that the White Sox have gone to. Also Acosta, Lamp.
Foul ball.
Tries to run the ball in on the right-hand hitters. At least he has to the hitters he's faced. Broke that bat from Tito. Had a great start last year. Slacked off the last part of the year. There's a
Chi-Chi.
Yeah, Chi-Chi. Been around a long time.
He really has. And what a good man to have in a ball club. His principal task with the Orioles in the early part of the year was to help Leo Hernandez. Leo just did not measure up quite the way the Orioles hoped that he would.
Well, for Chi-Chi to be effective, he's got to play some, and he did not play here.
Right.
He was released. Played for the White Sox last year. Roland Heeman, the general manager of the White Sox, liked him very much. Decided to take him back, mainly for defensive purposes. 2-2, 2 away. Orioles leading 4-0. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Shelby at second base.
On deck hitter Cal Ripken. You're going to hear the charge. How many people here tonight? 52,347. Repeating, 52,347. That's the way you see it if you're seated right behind home plate where the scouts always sit late in the year. Kind of a scout's eye view. Feeling that Fisk felt it was a pretty good pitch. We'll have a chance to look at it again. It looked a little outside. Of course, the angle is somewhat different. That's the final out of the 7th inning. At the end of 7, the Orioles 4 and the White Sox nothing. Well, this is the trivia question tonight, and tonight's trivia question brought to you by the Provident Bank of Maryland. There have been 9 shutouts in American League Championship Series history. The Orioles have been involved in 6, winning 3, losing 3. Can you name the 3 Orioles pitchers who threw the shutouts in American League Championship play? Well, we have a pinch batter. And batting for Scott Fletcher now is Hairston.
Been the #1 pinch hitter for the White Sox ball club this year. Switch hitter, good power from the left side.
Born in Birmingham, Alabama, now makes his home in Arlington, Texas. Jerry Hairston, switch hitter. He has been to the plate 3 times against the Orioles this year with a base hit. Botaker now has thrown an even 100 pitches. 67, as you see, for strikes and 33 balls. Two strikes to the pinch batter, Hairston. Boy, he bangs that barrel into the bat on the plate with a vengeance, doesn't he? Dempsey thought he had him struck out. And it'll be a ball, 2 strikes.
It was.
I wonder what Dempsey said to.
71 miles per hour is what he got him on the radar gun, and it was a very close pitch. It looked like Dempsey almost blocked the umpire out of the view from the last pitch, that the 2-0 pitch.
58 miles per hour they're showing up there now. One ball, 2 strikes to the pinch batter. Watch the way Hairston hammers the barrel into the bat on that plate. Usually they reach out. Look at that. Bang. He really nails it. Foul ball. "31-year-old outfielder. He's been drawing a paycheck as a professional ball player since 1970. Foul ball tipped. Dempsey bought it. And Hairston is a little upset, but it was Dempsey who pointed it out. He said, hey, that ball nicked the bat, and we've got a foul tip strikeout.
Now, that might have been the hardest pitch that Botaker's thrown all night. It was a fastball up out of the strike zone, and you'll see Harrison a little surprised by it. Goes after it, tries to hold his swing. The umpire does not hear it. Dempsey says, yes, it was a foul tip, and they gave it to him.
And that is the 12th strikeout of the evening for Mike Botaker. That equals his career high. And there's a strike to Julio Cruz. What an incredible year young Mike Botaker has had and is enjoying in the postseason battle here in Game 2 of the playoff series or American League Championship Series. 1-1 pitch. Well, many years ago, pitchers told me, and they've said this for many years, anybody can throw the ball over the plate, but throw it over the plate with something on it. Base hit. That'll be the first hit since back in the 5th inning when Ron Kittle opened with a single to left field. And that is the 3rd hit of the night for the Chicago Sox. First hit was a 2-out single through the first base side of the infield by Rudy Law. Then we had Kittle's leadoff hit, and now here is a 1-out single by Julio Cruz, and the batter is Rudy Law.
I think Cruz made up his mind, Chuck, that they were not going to give him anything to hit on the inside half, and he said, I better just try to go that way, and he got the pitch he wanted, line drive, left field, base hit. Rudy Law on the day is 1 for 3.
So Cruz, a fellow with excellent speed, 57 stolen bases this year. 2-0.
We got Tippy Martinez and
probably Sam Stewart. Tippy
right.
and Sam are up right now.
Cruz in at third base, taking the bunt away from Law. Renicky starting to swing around towards the left field line. Chicago ball club has gotten some help from the Dodgers. They got Rudy Law from the Dodgers. Petcharick started with the Dodgers. Kittle was released by the Dodgers. He had a bad back.
And the 2-1. What a series Law is having. Cruz races to third base.
Hopped on a high fastball, drilled it to right center field. First and third, one away. Carlton Fisk, the hitter. Fisk looking for his first hit tonight, struck out. Popped to the first baseman and walked.
Well, we're going to pause 5 seconds for station identification on this, the Orioles 83 Baseball Network.
This is WMAR-TV, Maryland's leader in sports broadcasting.
Well, on your screen right now, Ray Miller, the Orioles pitching coach, who is on his way, and there's a concerned Joe Altobelli. Jimmy Williams, the man right next to Joe, who is the Orioles first base coach. In the bullpen now shows you Tippy Martinez and Sam Stewart, both of whom worked yesterday. Durwood Merrill is on his way to...
Well, I think the thing you tell a pitcher in this situation is, look, don't worry about Rudy Law. Don't worry about Julio Cruz. You got to get the hitter. You're 4 runs ahead. Pitcher Stewart, Martinez.
Well, the Rabbit has delivered the message and is back in the dugout. And here is Carlton Fisk. Looked at a third strike in the opening inning. Fouled out to the first baseman Murray in the third inning and drew a walk in the 6th inning. First and third, 1 out, top of the 8th. Ball. Ball.
Thinking you're going to see him go to another breaking ball here. I'm sure he's not going to run it right down the middle for him. Or at least he doesn't want to, and he's not giving Law much of a look. He's concentrating on the hitter. Yeah, he did, went inside with a fastball.
Broadway. 2-2. Obviously, Fisk was looking for another kind of a pitch. There goes the runner. Strike 3. Fisk really complaining to Durwood Merrill about the call. Number 13, a career high for Mike Botaker.
Chuck, it was a little breaking ball, a little slider. I think we'll take a look at it here. He's going for the outside part of the plate. Breaking 2-3 inches at the most. There goes Law. Strike 3 to Fisk, and Law has a stolen base.
Now Harold Baines, runners second and third, with 2 down in the 8th inning. Dowers right there, and his throw perfect. The inning is over. At the end of 7 1/2, the Orioles 4 and the White Sox nothing. Again, you talk about headgear. Here's the Orioles cheer. Look. Yesterday, they didn't have a whole lot to cheer about. McGregor and his teammates did the best they could, but Lamar Hoyt was just too good. We have another pitcher in the ball game. Bannister started. 6 innings, 5 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. This is Wild Bill Hagee doing his thing. And Salome Barojas pitches an inning of relief, allows a base hit. Didn't walk anybody, strike anybody out, nor was he charged with a run. And number 53 is Dennis Lamb. 6'3", 210-pounder out of Los Angeles, California. And Dennis had a difficult year against the Orioles. Orioles, I think, beat Dennis a total of 3 times on the season.
Well, he was 7-7 on the year, Chuck. 3.71 ERA. He's primarily a sinker slider pitcher. Tries to keep the ball down. Doesn't change speeds that much.
Well, Lamp made 5 appearances against the Orioles this year and lost 3 games. Had an earned run of 10. Mike Botaker in the Orioles dugout. pitched 5 shutouts in the regular season and has gone 8 innings of shutout ball tonight in this absolutely crucial second game for the Orioles. Dennis Lamp against Cal Ripken.
Ripken single in the first inning, popped up to the second baseman and double off the left field wall in the 6th inning. 2 for 3.
You hear the chant of the crowd, MVP, MVP.
Talking about the MVP, Chuck, or the Cy Young Award winner, those awards have already been voted on before the American League playoffs started. Right after the season was over, the writers did vote who they feel like should be the MVP in the American League, Cy Young in the American League.
Aurelio Rodriguez, bad throw, Petcharick misses him.
That'll be an error on Rodriguez at third base. Low throw, pull Petcharick off the base. Here you'll see Chichi back up. Long throw to first base. Petcharick does a nice job of coming up with the ball, but it pulls him off the base. He cannot tag Ripken going by.
Wasn't close at first base, was it? Now here is Eddie Murray, who has twice struck out and flied to center field. All of those appearances against starting pitcher Floyd Bannister. Now he looks at Dennis Lamb. Ball. Tony La Russa just scanning the card to make sure he's straight on who's available. Well, the changes, Dempsey now at shortstop, Hairston now in right field. And Dennis Lamp, the new pitcher. Look out. It's an Eddie Murray picture. On the blouse of an Eddie Murray fan. And the 1-2 pitch. Out of play. What a great sound when you have a ballpark full of loyal and enthusiastic Oriole fans roaring their approval of a 4-0 lead. Gary Renicky, who has had a slam-bang ball game. 2 for 2, a double and a 2-run home run. He has scored 3 runs and knocked in 2 as Renicky. That took a piece out of Carlton Fisk.
See him squeezing the ball there.
That just hurts.
Yes, sir. Got him right on the fingers. Trying to get some feeling back in him. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Orioles. No runs, 4 hits for the White Sox. They've committed 2 errors.
Both by third baseman. One by Rodriguez, the other by the regular third baseman, Vance Law. 2-2. Gary Koosman, Dick Tidrow in the Chicago bullpen. What a mustache Mr. Tidrow carries up there. Dennis Lamp has one quite similar. Down the 2-2. Out of play.
I think you might see Tidrow's warming up, but I don't think you're going to see him. Checking out to see what inning it was. This is at the top of the bottom of the 8th.
Well, for the most part, Lamp is, getting the ball by Eddie. He's just missing. Well, ballpark really looks great with all of the bunting hanging over it. All Oriole fans hope that they have a chance to see it this way one more time in 1983. Just one more time is all they want to do. See it like this. Out of play. Of course, in order to have that happen, it will have to be in a World Series.
Lamp trying to stay away from Murray, outside part of the plate. Murray hanging tough.
Dennis Lamp, the third Chicago hurler, with his 2-2 offering to Ed Murray. Inside, outside, up, down. He's really moved the ball around, Ed Murray. And just looking from up here, it appears he has really not had much of a pitch to hit. Jimmy Williams, first base coach, on your screen right now. Bills himself as the greatest hockey player in the American League. I don't know if there's another one, to tell you the truth. Three and two now. Eddie hit .328 beginning September the 1st. Has a career batting average in September and October of .335. That's what's known as late foot. There goes Ripken, and this will find a home in the pocket of a baseball fan. Say, Eddie Murray hasn't had too many really hard, vicious swings. He looks like he's just trying to concentrate on making good contact. Just take his chances that he'll find an open spot. Now Ripken will have to put the brakes on. Left fielder Kittle, and he makes the grab for the first out. Eddie Murray is gone.
Gary Renicky, what a night he's had, as Chuck said before. Double to left field. Walked in the fourth. 2-run homer in the 6th inning off of Floyd Bannister.
One down. Murray has flied to the left fielder.
And that's vintage Lamp. Sinker slider. Two balls, no strikes, one away.
Well, the trivia question is from the Provident Bank of Maryland. There have been 9 shutouts in the American League Championship Series history. The Orioles have been involved in 6, winning 3 and losing 3. And you name the 3 Oriole pitchers who threw the shutouts: Scott McGregor, Jim Palmer, Dave McNally. McGregor shut out California 8-0 on 6 hits in October of '79. Palmer shut out Oakland on 5 hits in October of '73. And McNally shut out Minnesota on 3 hits in 11 innings, October of '69. And the count now 3-2 to Renicky. Oakland pitchers have shut the Orioles out 3 times. Catfish Hunter in 73, Kenny Holtzman and Vida Blue in 74.
3-2, he ran with Murray. Let's see if he'll run with Renegade. There he goes.
Guess who's hiding in there, huh? And the 3-2 pitch. Again to Renegade. From Dennis Lamp, there goes Ripken. Ball 4. Batter now will be Kenny Singleton. Reached on the 2-base error, charged to Vance Law in the 2nd inning, doubled down the 3rd base side to knock in the Orioles' 2nd run of the 4th inning, and then grounded to 3rd. Orioles 4 runs, 6 hits. The White Sox no runs, 4 hits, and the White Sox have committed 2 errors. One of those, very costly, allowed the Orioles their 1st run. Strike 1 to Singy. Another close-up of skipper Tony La Russa. Out of play. If the Orioles can hang on for a win here in this very crucial ball game, they still have an absolutely tremendous task ahead of them, trying to win 2 out of 3 in Comiskey Park, Chicago. And that will take a lot of doing.
Yes, it will. White Sox have played extremely well in their ballpark this year. Botaker, 5 shutouts this year. He becomes the first rookie since 1927, Chuck, to lead the American League in shutouts.
Well, the Orioles in Comiskey Park this year are dead even. They won 3 and they also lost 3. This will be a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch to Singleton.
Singleton hit 284 left-handed, 262 right-handed.
Kind of a pretty picture, isn't it? Okay. 2-2 offering on the way to Singleton. 1st and 2nd with 1 out. They should get it. 1 and 2.
Outstanding play by Lucinski at shortstop. He speared a hot line drive and stepped on 2nd for 2.
At the end of 8, it is Baltimore 4. Well, here comes the 9th inning of Game 2, and the Orioles with a 4-0 lead behind the brilliant effort of their young right-hander Mike Botaker, who in the regular season pitched 5 shutouts and is an inning away from his 6th shutout. The executive producer for Orioles 83 is Barry Friedley. This game directed by Sheldon Schemmer and produced by Mike Marquardt. Coordinating director was Greg Massoni. Lucinski against Botaker tonight. Struck out, fly to right, hit into a forced play. Tippy Martinez is up in the Oriole bullpen. Well, he's hit Lucinski. That's the 2nd man he's hit tonight. He got Petcharick back in the 2nd inning. Kind of a thing that really is disturbing to a Mike Botaker to put somebody on.
It's disturbing, Chuck, because in that situation, Botaker has to be going right for the middle of the plate. Down 4-0. I doubt if Lucinski was going to be swinging until he got a strike on him.
Well, here is Tom Petcharick, who batted .400. 9 runs batted in against the Orioles in the regular season.
And this is a key hitter for Botaker right here in this ball game if he's going to stay in it.
What he'd love to have right now would be a ground ball double play. For that matter, any kind of a double play. Right down the pipe. Now, Petcharick, who was hit by the pitch in the second inning, since that time has struck out and fly to right field. Good, comfortable evening at the ballpark. And pitchers can stay strong longer in weather like this than they can in that terrible heat and humidity.
And I think that one of the things that Dempsey said here not too long ago, Chuck, and you have to observe it if you see Botaker over the whole year, is when he goes out there, he's the guy who wants to stay. He wants to go 9.
Well, 26 starts this year, Brooks. He went the route 10 times.
Gonna be trouble.
Shelby can't get there. And the White Sox have lit the fuse here in the 9th inning. Runners at first and second with nobody out. And the batter will be Ron Kittle, who has walked, singled, and lied to left field. Sammy Stewart has joined Tippy Martinez in the bullpen.
Orioles made their bid yesterday. The White Sox are making theirs today.
Right. That's the Oriole bullpen. Well, the inning got started in a sour note insofar as Mike is concerned when he had the misfortune of hitting Lucinski with a pitch. Petcharick, who went 2 for 4 yesterday, now is 1 for 3 tonight. First and second, nobody out, and Ron Kittle. Tough play. Got him. And the runners have moved up. Kittle, for such a big man, runs reasonably well. He's surprisingly quick for a man his size.
Well, it was a tough play for Todd because Cruz was playing back fairly deep on Kittle. He comes in, one-hands the ball, throws on the run, and just nips him.
Ball kind of took a hop away from Cruz as he was charging it.
Well, I think he wanted to catch that ball with both hands when he comes in, but the ball did go to his left. He had to stab at it. Good, strong throw. And the one thing that Cruz can do, I don't know if anybody can throw with him.
Now the batter is going to be Mike Squires, and he'll be batting in the spot occupied by Aurelio Rodriguez. Mike Squires. Dempsey out alerting Cruz to the possibilities. Lucinski at third base, Petcharick at second, and here comes Squires.
Squires used mostly in 1983 as a replacement at first base, defensively.
Batter one time hit into a forced play yesterday. And LaRussa moving up and down that White Sox dugout, hoping that the White Sox can get it going.
That's a bat over about 153 times. 1983 season.
Hit .222. Look out. All right. And the tar towel will be generously applied to the grip end of the bat. Breaking ball can make you do that now and then. Who was the greatest year? Minnie Minoso, I think, is one of the best bat throwers I've ever seen.
Tony Oliva?
And Oliva was another one. Botaker holds the runner at third, throws him out. Well, Brooks mentioned earlier on the telecast that Mike Botaker is just a fine all-around athlete. He made an excellent play. They're on their feet right now. Everybody in the ballpark is up. 2 out. Top of the ninth, runners second and third. The Orioles leading 4-0, and I'll tell you, they are letting Botaker know how they feel about his brilliant effort tonight. And here comes a tough out in Jerry Hairston. Hairston is a pinch batter, struck out against Botaker in the 8th inning. Ball. And here is the lovely bride of Mike Botaker. Strikes now. They're really warming it up for Botaker. 1-2. The Orioles an out away from their first win in this playoff series. This is one of those gotta-be ball games. What great fans. What absolutely wonderful enthusiasm for a splendid team. Now the 1-2 pitch. Not a bad pitch. This is Lisa,
That's right.
the lovely wife of Mike Botaker. She was quite an athlete and is. She was a great basketball player.
2-2.
2-2 pitch. Got a piece of it.
Out the belly would like nothing more than to hop up that front step and run to the mound.
Well, we've gone as far as we can go, haven't we? 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, second and third, and oh, is she praying for the pitch that'll end the ball game. Here's the 3-2. Ball 4, and Hairston throws the bat away. The bases are loaded for Julio Cruz.
Brings a changeup, 3-2. Inside and low for ball 4, and that brings up Julio Cruz, the tying run.
3 walks tonight for Botaker. Bases loaded, 2 down, and Cruz, who singled in left field, back in the 8th inning. If the fans could get out there and do it themselves, they'd run out there. That's how they're trying to help Botaker. Here it is, the 2-strike pitch. Fair foul.
It's going to be a fair ball. Foul ball. Slicing down it.
Just foul.
Umpire is right there on it.
Ripken in to talk to Botaker, giving him a little bit of a breather, a little recess. 2 strikes, the count to Julio Cruz. Count was 1-2 when Cruz took an outside pitch to left field for a base hit. He just missed by inches. Come up off the deck, and as my good friend Andy Gibson would say, and now they are even. Aldebelli and the rest of the Oriole club out. We've said it all year. It bears repeating. The Orioles were disappointed they didn't win yesterday, but they took that as if they almost had won yesterday. They knew that there was not a thing they could do about it but come out tonight and give it their best effort. And how much better could you do than have a brilliant shutout pitch by Mike Botaker and the potent bat of Gary Renicky tonight, who knocked in 2 runs and scored 3, and the Orioles have won the second game of the '83 championship series. And now we're headed for that toddling town of Chicago. And the Orioles and the White Sox will do battle there tomorrow night. And we'll be back with more right after this message. Well, the Orioles, behind the brilliance of Mike Botaker, who pitches his 6th shutout of the 1983 campaign, 5 of them in the regular season, and tonight game 2 against the White Sox, have gotten even in the series at a game apiece, and your nearby Dobson dealers donate $100 for Oriole playoff broadcast to the favorite charity of the Dobson player of the game. And tonight that fellow is, and I hope you agree, Mike Botaker. And a $100 donation from your nearby Dobson dealers goes to the Johns Hopkins Children's Center on behalf of Mike Botaker. The winner of tonight's Big Mac attack is Lindsay Beverly of Allendale Road from the McDonald's in Rivera Beach. Lindsay Beverly wins $400. So congratulations to Lindsay Beverly. WMAR and McDonald's want to thank the many thousands of loyal fans who have helped make the Big Mac attack one of the most exciting and rewarding promotions this season. Well, for the Chicago White Sox, tonight, Botaker just stopped them cold, and we'll be back with more right after this message. The Orioles, 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 5 left. Chicago, no runs, 4 hits, 2 errors, 6 left. Botaker is the winning pitcher, and Floyd Bannister is the losing pitcher. Orioles 83 has been brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsors of the United States Olympic team. For what you do, this Bud's for you. Nissan, makers of Datsun and your nearby Datsun dealers. Ezrine Auto Centers, your local General Tire dealers. Sooner or later, you'll own General. Coca-Cola, Coke is it. Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's the most important card you carry. Well, that's the story from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. A reminder, the next televised game will come your way from Comiskey Park in Chicago, 8 p.m. when the Orioles take on the Chicago White Sox in Game 3. Until then, this is Chuck Thompson for Brooks Robinson and the entire Oriole telecast team wishing you a very pleasant good evening. The final score in Game 2, the Orioles 4 and the White Sox nothing. And we invite